But when the smoke cleared, the San Antonio Spurs secured the number 2 overall pick in this year's NBA draft. Spurs also have the 14th overall selection. Mavericks shocked everybody by landing the number 1 overall pick with just a 1.8% chance. The draft takes place in Brooklyn, June 25th and 26th. We got NBA playoff games tonight as well, and the Blitz starts right now.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is one of those Tuesdays here in San Antonio that everybody's just feeling a little bit better. You got a little more pep in your step and all of that kind of stuff. Why, you ask? Well, because the San Antonio Spurs are the luckiest team in NBA history when it comes to the draft lottery. Unbelievable. And I got to ask you, did you think it was going to happen again? I certainly did. Hi, everybody. This is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is off today watching his daughter graduate from Arizona State University up there in Phoenix. So we wish her all the best, that is for sure. But I tell you what, it is quite the day. And the buzz around town all day, and I'm sure it's the same anywhere that you have gone today, everybody talking about the NBA draft lottery. I got to tell you, when I'm at the Rue Pub last night, if you listened to the show yesterday, you know that we did our show from there. I stuck around because I wanted to be in that place with all the electricity and all of that kind of stuff. And the place was packed once again. And when we knew the Spurs had at least top 4, I had pulled the phone out. I said, here we go. This could happen again. Right? So I start recording. And then the 4th pick went. The 3rd pick went, and it's down to the Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm thinking this is going to happen again. This is the luckiest team I've ever seen in my life. And then, bam, number 2. And the whole place went from just cheering to, oh. And then when the Mavericks were announced as the number 1 team, all I heard was, boo, just like that. But it was nuts. And then once everybody figured it out, it's like, you know what? That's a pretty damn good draft lottery. Not bad at all. I hope you're happy today. I'm certainly happy today. I know Pledge has got a little pep in his step. Most everybody I've talked to today is happy about what happened. They're happy about what happened, and then they follow up with the question about, well, what do you think the Spurs are going to do? What do you think they're going to do? That's the biggest question. And we're going to tackle that question on this edition of the Blitz today. And I don't want to hear it, Brian. I got Brian O on our YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, please do that. You can comment and you can like the page there. I want to hear from you guys today. Everybody, if you've got an opinion on what you think the Spurs ought to do, just your experience from last night, all of that kind of stuff. 656-3776, 656-ESPN are the phone lines. You can call in. You can comment on YouTube. You can go to Twitter. You can get me there at Joe Reinagel 210. I want to hear what you have to say.
Except that.
Except what?
Brian O.
Except, yeah, well, I just, Brian, I don't want to hear a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff, dude, honestly. And I know a lot of people are talking about that today. But I just don't believe it, and I'll tell you why. And I can't even take credit for this. It was somebody else that I talked to or that I was listening to earlier. The Dallas Mavericks did everything they could to not be in the draft lottery. They tried everything. They were 1 win away from getting into the playoffs. One win away from getting into the playoffs and not being a part of the NBA draft lottery. So, I just don't think that's the case. Now, you guys all might recall when the NBA went to, trying the percentages, and so they're trying to prevent tanking, believe it or not. And I know everybody in this town loves it because of what happened with Wemby, and I get that. Do you know that, and I'm not sure, Pledge, and help me out with this, when the Spurs won the lottery for Wemby, were they one of the 3 worst teams?
Yes.
They were.
Were tied for the best odds to get the number 1 overall pick.
So they had the 14th. Okay. So it must be record-wise what Sky, and I haven't looked it up, all transparency, and I will do that at some point in time so I know what the heck I'm talking about. Since they changed the percentages, the worst team record-wise has not won the lottery. Think about that. The worst team record-wise has not won the lottery. I found that incredibly unbelievable. I mean, really, it was. So, look, the NBA is trying to do everything they can. Tanking is still going to go on. But the Dallas Mavericks, 1.8% chance last night, tried everything they could to get into the playoffs. They played Memphis. I mean, it was an incredible series. Now, it turns out Memphis wasn't very good as we sit here today. But still, Dallas tried. So the conspiracy theories, the rigging of the NBA, I don't buy it. I'm just not there.
We can't keep a secret between three people in this building. You expect 30 billionaires with egos that all want the best for their own franchise to keep one?
There is no way this thing is rigged, and I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's just not, okay? So I don't buy that, but I've heard it a lot today. So obviously a lot of people think that is the case. That's for sure. So, but let's squash that. Unless you've got a good reason and you've got some proof, or you can convince me otherwise, I don't think this thing is rigged. I think the NBA's done a good job with what they've done. I mean, think about.
Are you asking for proof on a conspiracy?
Yes. I'm asking for proof. That's James Pledger, by the way, who is running the show today. And look, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. And can you imagine San Antonio today, and as good as we're feeling with getting the number 2 pick and all the options that are available to this franchise today, can you imagine being Washington? I don't know. Brooklyn, although they've got a ton of first-round picks, they can do something with that. But some of these teams that actually needed this don't get it. Utah is another one. I'm telling you, they got to be feeling horrible. And I'm just seeing on here today, Thomas Castillo on our YouTube page is saying Houston Sports Radio is not happy with us. And I say, good. The hell with Houston. I don't give a damn about Houston. Sorry, Pledge. I know you like Houston. I don't care. I'm telling you, the Spurs proved once again they are the luckiest team alive when it comes to the NBA draft lottery. And can you imagine? You talk about conspiracy theories. If the Spurs had won this thing again after winning it for Robinson, Duncan, Wemby, and then another one, a Cooper Flagg, I can't even imagine what folks would be saying here today or around the rest of the country. It's unbelievable.
The problem is, if they would have won this one, it would have been the worst odds they would have ever had to have won the number 1 overall pick.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they still got the number 2 pick, and I love it. Spurs picking, as it stands right now, with number 2 and 14. We're going to go over all the possible scenarios. There's mock drafts that came out right after this, and so all of that. And I do want to hear from you as well, because we've got so much to talk about here today. It's going to be a fun show. I know it is, because you guys are fired up. Everybody's feeling good, and I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great about today because I want to see some big things happen. And, Minix and I talked about this yesterday at the Rue Pub, and Pledge has got a little different opinion on Giannis than I do, than some other that maybe you do, but maybe there's some people that agree with Pledge. But I'm going to tell you why I want Giannis in San Antonio. And you can throw out all those salary stats and the fits and everything else. For me, it is a business decision that the Spurs should make and just get everybody excited, get everybody fired up, and get that arena built. Business decision, Pledge. That's all I'm saying. Business decision. So we'll see what happens. We'll go over all those scenarios as well. Plus, there's been some more leaks, by the way, from the NFL on their schedule release. All the international games have been released, and there's been some others, and a little controversy, quite frankly, in some of this, because the NFL will go directly and compete directly against the college football playoffs. So we'll talk about that, and we'll see how you feel about that. And we've got some stuff to give away today, which I'm excited about. We started this yesterday, and I know the fellas on the Morning Huddle have given away a couple of contenders, I guess you could say, qualifiers for these ACL festival tickets or wristbands. All you have to do is listen all week to us here on the Blitz or the Morning Huddle. You get registered for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to the ACL Festival, weekend number 2 at Zilker Park in Austin, Texas. Of course, 9 stages. Sabrina Carpenter, Hozier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, an all-star lineup of who's who is performing at Austin Zilker Park. So listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz. So they gave away, or they qualified somebody this morning. So they've qualified 2. We've only qualified 1. We're going to do that again. We'll do it during the 5 o'clock hour. And I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do it. It's easy to just say caller number whatever. But I think maybe I'll do something different. So you got to listen to the show. It'll either be I'll put something out on YouTube perhaps, or something that I say today that you have to remember. So Pledge and I will brainstorm when we go to this break, and we'll figure that out. So listen up. And again, if you have to go away during the show, shame on you. I feel bad for you because you're going to miss out on a lot. You should listen to the show 4 straight hours. You just should. Make it a habit to do that. That's what you ought to do. But if you can't, it will be sometime during the 5 o'clock hour, so make sure you get back at the 5 o'clock hour. When we come back, all the Spurs brass commenting on what happened last night. And I want to hear your thoughts. And I specifically want to hear from you about how you were feeling as you thought, I thought, everybody thought the Spurs were going to do this thing again. Should we take this guy? No, we'll hold him over. Gino, I see you on the line there. I appreciate that. Anybody else? 656-3776. 656-ESPN. What do you think about what took place last night? I want to hear from you. And we'll do that when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than a Texas tailgate. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hozier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and whole mix of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can also text BAIL to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or online mybestbailbonds.com.
Made in America, highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Lowe's knows a thriving yard starts with quality care. Right now, get Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot all-purpose garden soil for just $2. Was $4.58. Plus, get a free Select Ego 56-volt trimmer or blower with the purchase of a Select Ego 56-volt mower. The best yard starts with the best deals. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/14. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Just a great Tuesday, isn't it? Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix has the day off. Congratulations to the Minix family. Erica Minix is getting her master's degree today.
Bet she's still on the payroll after
From
this.
Arizona State. Dude, she'll be on the payroll as long as she wants to be. She's got Minix wrapped around her little finger, big time, both little fingers and all of that stuff. So, yeah, whatever Erica wants, Erica will get. Although, she's a great kid, man. No, she's not a kid. She's a young lady these days. But to me, she's a kid. And congratulations to them. So he's watching that. It takes place sometime today. I don't know if it's this afternoon or tonight, but either way, congrats to the Minix family on a great accomplishment by their daughter. There's no doubt about that. And congratulate the San Antonio Spurs on another successful NBA draft lottery. The number 2 overall pick they get. I thought they were going to get the number 1 pick, man. I tell you what, can you imagine? I don't know what the odds would have been if you would have laid a futures bet on either San Antonio or Dallas. Now, Dallas, you'd have won a fortune. You put $10 down on the Dallas Mavericks to win the lottery, you'd have won a fortune because they were the longest of long shots, but they end up getting it done. And they've got some decisions to make. I mean, just from what I've heard, there's no guarantee that Cooper Flagg will end up in Dallas. It remains to be seen. And I tell you what, if he doesn't end up in Dallas, he might be happy about it. Listen to Cooper Flagg after the draft lottery last night.
The Dallas Mavericks made it known that they look for two-way players. Guys defend. That's what bring home championships, and that's why they traded Luka Doncic. You are a two-way player playing alongside Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. What you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, this entire experience for me has been amazing. So going forward, I'm just going to look forward to that. Like you said, being a two-way player, that's something that I've done since I was a little kid, so I'm just going to try and keep doing that to the best of my ability.
Cooper, Dallas this is a good team. Did you see this coming? I mean, you must have thought about where you might be going, but I'm surprised. But you're going to a very kind of built team already. That's pretty unusual for what I think being the top pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I didn't try and think about it too much. I feel like it was kind of out of my control. So I'm just kind of going through the process like everybody else and just trying to enjoy every single moment because we only get to do this once.
Congratulations, Cooper. Of course, enjoy the entire process as we lead into June and potentially a new home for you, which would be in Dallas. Cooper Flagg, thank you so much.
Well, that'll be interesting to see, but I don't know. I mean, Cooper Flagg may just be that kind of guy, but he doesn't sound real thrilled. And I guess he kind of handled it the right way if you look at it because, I mean, he doesn't know what's going to happen between now and June 25th. The Mavericks could trade somebody away. They trade him away. All kinds of things could happen. So we will see. But, yeah, he didn't say anything Dallas specific, and he wasn't happy about the Mavericks are a great team because they tried to goad him into saying that, and he never went along with it. So maybe he's not too happy with that. And why would you be? He's going to play there for 4 years. They'll trade you to the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, that's what the Dallas Mavericks do. So because they don't want to pay you. The only thing I can say about Mavs fans today is that I would think you have hope again. Because after you lost all hope with the Luka Doncic trade, today you've got hope again. So we'll see what happens with those folks. And quite frankly, I don't really give a damn about Dallas Mavericks fans. So the heck with them. They can feel bad all they want to. Spurs had a great night last night. I want to know how you feel. What were you thinking when it came right down to the wire? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can get me on our YouTube page. You can comment there. Be sure and like the YouTube page, please, and subscribe. Please do that. And you can also get me on Twitter, at Joe Reinigle 210. Let's go to the phone lines now at 656-3776. Gino's been hanging on a while. Gino, appreciate you hanging on. What's on your mind?
Hey, Joe, long time no speak to you, and Jason, missed you guys this year at the Army-Navy game, but with regards to the Spurs, I think they should package a deal together and go after Giannis. You know, it's for me, and I think a lot of people that I'm hanging out with, it's a win-now mentality, and I think Giannis will provide us that edge that we need to take us over the top. I would like Harper, but I think Harper is a Castle and Fox, and now you're asking the coach that's a young coach to add a third player that is the same as those two. I think taking Giannis and putting a package together for him would really take the Spurs and got to put us in the top three for the West for teams to compete against for the championship. So like to hear what you think and what everybody else thinks out there in San Antonio.
All right, Gino, thanks, man, and we'll catch up soon, my friend. Hopefully, that's for sure. Hey, look, I agree, and I think in so many reasons. And I'll get Pledge on here to tell you what he was telling me in the office. He's not sure it would be a good fit. And I think I want to speak for you, Pledge. I'll let you you answer yourself. But it's interesting that I think that a fit would be all players working together. And I think what would happen if you've got a Giannis and a Wemby down low, both obviously are scorers. I mean, Giannis, he quietly had a pretty damn good year this year. He averaged over 30 points a game, almost 12 rebounds a game. I mean, the guy's an animal. He's a beast. And I just think you make it fit, you make it work if you're going to go after that. He is making a lot of money, so you'd have to get rid of some money on the other side, but I think all of that can be had. But I'm with you, Gino. I think that the Spurs have to be in a win-now mentality. I'm sick of skipping steps. And look, I don't care how good Dylan Harper is at Rutgers, and he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but will he be that immediately in the NBA? That's always a roll of the dice. So I say the same thing about Cooper Flagg. Will he be the same thing he was at Duke immediately in the NBA? Sometimes it takes a little time for these guys. Steph Castle took about half a year or so, right? Figure maybe not quite half, but it took a little while, and then Castle got it. And then he took off, and we all know what he did, winning Rookie of the Year. So it's just a different ball game, that's for sure. But, this whole Giannis thing, and that's what everybody's going to be talking about between now until we get to the draft on June 25th, if something happens before that happens. But, Pledge, we were talking about Giannis, and you're not necessarily sold on the idea of him coming here.
I'm not sold on it. I understand how it could work, but you need a lot of pieces to make it work. I mean, I look at Giannis and the success that he was able to have when the Bucks were successful with Mike Budenholzer. It was Giannis, and they surrounded him with a bunch of marksmen. Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton when he was still healthy and in his prime, Brook Lopez. All these guys, PJ Tucker, defenders and three-point shooters, floor spacers, because you got to stay out of the paint for Giannis to be able to be effective. The Spurs aren't built like that.
Well, they're not, but they need to get built like that. Look, if you go out and get a Giannis, you've got to build and make it work, and you've got to do what you can. Now, the problem is,
the problem is when you say you got to build and make it work, there are a lot of teams that just go get a bunch of superstars and make it work.
Well, sometimes that does work. Well, sure. What you talking about? The Phoenix Suns?
I'm talking about the Suns. I'm talking about the Nets. There are a bunch of Philly. I can look.
What
to
LA?
LA.
What do those first two teams have in common? The Nets and the Suns. Come on, you know the answer to it. Kevin Durant.
Sure.
Boom.
It worked in Golden State.
Yeah, well, okay, but Steph Curry had a lot to do with that. Steph Curry's an underrated dude, man. I tell you what, that guy is incredible. Look, obviously there'd have to be some pieces. So the other answer to that, if you don't want to go out and get the big fish, you don't want to go out and get Giannis, then you've got to go out and get some little fish. And the Spurs need that. Look, they need shooters. You've got to have shooters. And the Spurs have none. I keep waiting for Devin Vassell to be that guy, to be a consistent scorer. Don't have it. We had a guy like that I don't think his name was Devin White or Derek White.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter too. He's gone. I get it. I'm not going to rehash history. I know why the deal was made, and I understand it. But that's what you need. You need players and pieces like that. You still need a big man too. And there's a lot of options for the Spurs because they have a lot of ammunition in the tank. Or in the gun. They really do. They've got a lot of ammunition there, and they can go out and make some stuff happen. And I'm just thrilled that they have that option. Now, if they stick with what they're doing at number 2, and they end up going with Dylan Harper, everybody says this guy is a hell of a player. And he is a hell of a player. But the one weak spot for this guy, by everything that I've read about him today, is just can be inconsistent from downtown. He is a shooter, though, and I think he can learn his way, and it would be a good pick. Now, I don't think anybody's going to argue with it, but I think the Spurs have an opportunity here to make a splash. They have a real opportunity here to make a splash. And I just think if you don't make it this year, when are you going to make it, and when are you going to get it done? And I just think it's an opportunity. If it's not Giannis, then I want to see a couple of guys, a couple of veteran guys come in here and help this team out. It's going to be an interesting offseason, to say the least, and an interesting drive up to the NBA draft. As far as the Spurs, though, my goodness, they were all asked last night about their emotions because they were feeling just the same way that we were. Brian Wright described his reaction to the pick.
Yeah, shock, excitement. You feel all the emotions. But an incredible night. Super excited to get to work and see what the future holds.
Yeah, see what the future holds. Now, and Brian Wright is the guy that's he's kind of on the hot seat, isn't he? I mean, you got to see this guy because he's got to make something happen. He's got to make something happen and make it work. And look, when I talk about Giannis, and I've said this before, I said it yesterday, I think I've already said it today, but I'm going to keep harping on it. It's a business decision for the Spurs. They want a new arena. Can you imagine bringing in a superstar, a 2-time MVP, a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer, the excitement that this city would show? They're not thinking about how we're going to make this work, how's it going to be, yada, yada, yada. They're saying, guess what? We got Giannis Antetokounmpo coming here, a legit NBA superstar.
You know what they did last time they needed a new stadium?
What's that?
They won championships.
They did, and that's
how you get it built.
That's it.
Not stars, championships.
Well, if you combine that star, I think if Giannis comes here and you have him and you add some pieces around him, even if they're not huge pieces, dude, you would have to look at the Spurs and say they are a legit contender in the Western Conference to get back to the NBA Finals.
If you want to be what the Spurs were, which is consistently in the hunt every year, right?
Sure.
You've got to do this right because the West not only is good, it's getting better.
Sure.
Cooper Flagg going to Dallas is going to make Dallas better. They are going to be better in the short term and the long term. If you look at the Houston Rockets, they're a young team that is ascending. Oklahoma City's not going anywhere. I mean, Denver, like all of these teams are good teams with no signs of falling off of a cliff. As a matter of fact, the teams that are where the Spurs are also getting better at the same time as the Spurs.
I get that. So you got to make some bold moves, do you not? Or
this ain't the East.
But I'm not exactly. And look, we're talking about what we want. Do we want Giannis or not? Does Giannis want us? Does Giannis want to come to the West? He may not want to come to the Western Conference. It's a dogfight in the Western Conference. He may not want to come here.
If I'm Milwaukee, I want him in the West.
Well, of course you do. If you're going to trade him away, you'd rather trade him away to a Western Conference team. I just want to just expound on what you said. Now, the consistent for the Spurs, when they won their first one, right, they had the Twin Towers. You had Tim Duncan and David Robinson. You had Avery Johnson running the port. You had Sean Elliott. Look, you had some pieces around. When they won in 2003, you had the consistency of Tim Duncan, Monte Ginobili, and Tony Parker. You had those three. So if you have those three, and this is going to piss a lot of you off, and I don't care. I don't consider Stephon Castle as one of the three. Not yet. All right, you got Wemby. You got De'Aaron Fox. You need another piece. Stephon Castle is going to be a great player. Rookie of the year. I get all that. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with that, but I don't see him as part of a three. Not yet. He may get there. May very well get there, and I expect him to. But I just don't think he's one of those three just yet. He's a very, very, very productive player, and obviously got better as the season went on. But do you really consider him a part of the big three? If you're looking at Fox, Wemby, and Stephon Castle right now, see, I'm just not there yet. I need to see more out of that young man. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he does this year. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't want to give him away. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying I think to consider him as a part, you add a Giannis to those two, to a Fox and a Wemby, and then some pieces around, even minor pieces, shooters. I think the Spurs, number one, if you add a Giannis here, who's going to score on these guys? Who? Nobody. Nobody's getting inside. You're going to have to shoot threes all day long. And we've seen the Boston Celtics, they're great in the regular season with that.
They gave up a lot of threes last year, didn't they?
Sure. But that's okay. That's all right. Look, if you've got a better idea, then let me know. I just think it's time to bring in a person like that, a star like that. And I think it would be fantastic if you did that. And it would just light this city on fire.
I mean, outside of what you and I think, it depends what they think inside that building at the Rocket Lock and Terra. Because if they believe that they've got their next iteration of Tony, Tim, and Manu already in the building, then you build around it.
Yeah, you build around them, and you get them some shooters, and you get rid of the ones that aren't consistently shooting. Before we take a break real quick, let's go back to the phone line, 656-3776. Doc's been hanging on. Doc, what's on your mind?
The fix is in. They found their new bird and magic for the next 15 years to have Flagg and Wemby go against each other. With the NBA declining, they've always used the draft as a way to place players where they want to. There's just too much money at stake. You can go all the way back to the Orlando Magic when they got Shaq and Penny, Patrick Ewing with the New York Knicks. There's LeBron James getting drafted by Cleveland, Derrick Rose to Chicago, the Charlotte Hornets when I think the Bulls bought the franchise. They got the number one pick, I think, back-to-back years. There's just too much money at stake, and they place these players. And if you're like, you know what, that's all foolish. If it's not, why don't they put the bouncing balls in front of everybody and draw it on live TV? That'd be the most exciting thing to see, but they do it behind closed doors. I just don't get that part. So of all the reasons why don't they draw the balls in front of everybody?
So one quick question for you, Doc. You realize the Mavericks were a game away from being in the playoffs and not even being in the lottery. So if by your scenario, if Dallas wouldn't have been there, then I don't know, somebody else would have got them to create that matchup. You're talking about a 3-hour movie of people that would have to go with all the moving parts here, and I just can't buy into it. I appreciate the call though, Doc. I'm sorry you feel that way, buddy. You should be happy. Spurs got the number 2 pick in the draft. You got to be happy. We don't need to talk about conspiracy theories.
If it was truly rigged and we all believe that, we wouldn't watch it.
Well, dude, there's a lot of people out there talking that do believe it. And that's the crazy thing about it. I've heard a lot of that today. Oh, it's rigged.
We definitely wouldn't gamble on it.
I wouldn't gamble on it at all. It's crazy. I don't know. But hey, if you want to talk about conspiracy theories, you're more than welcome to do that. Or we can talk about Giannis and possible trade scenarios. That would be interesting. What do the Spurs do now that they've got the number 2 pick in the draft? We'll talk about that when we continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hump day on the Morning Huddle. The Dallas Cowboys, not to be outdone by the Spurs news. They've got some stuff to discuss. We'll be there tomorrow.
And the Spurs, will they or won't they? Is the freak moving to SA? So much to look at, but we got to start early. Get here at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Pledger's having a good time in there with some of the music. And so are we. Everybody's in a good mood, except for poor old Doc or anybody else that's believing in conspiracy theories. Please don't. It's on the up and up. Can you imagine if the NBA got caught doing this? They'd be sunk. It'd be done. It would be all over but the crying. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix, he's off. He's enjoying his daughter's graduation from Arizona State today. So taking some time off to be with her and celebrate a little bit, as he should. Happy you guys are with us today on what is a great, great Tuesday in San Antonio. Spurs get the number 2 pick in the NBA draft lottery last night. And, of course, everybody wants to know what the Spurs are going to do. What are they going to do? Are they going to make a trade? Will they draft there? What's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see. Between now, we've got, about a month and a half, I would say. The draft takes place June 25th and 26th in Brooklyn this year. So there's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, a lot of things happening. The Dallas Mavericks, according to one of their beat writers, a guy by the name of Brett Siegel, is reporting right now that the Mavericks have already decided that they will not trade Cooper Flagg. Now, I hear that, and I say, okay, we can either take that with a grain of salt, or we could say the Mavericks are just kind of throwing some bait out there and maybe wanting another issue. Look, if you're the Mavericks, Cooper Flagg offers you hope. It offers you hope. After Luka Doncic and the heartbreak of what happened there, you've got another guy that can come in and be your franchise player. And I think if you're a Maverick fan, you should be very happy about that. But that just happened a few minutes ago, that apparently the Mavericks reportedly have made up their mind that they're not going to trade Cooper Flagg, not going to trade the number 1 pick. They will draft Cooper Flagg. We'll see if that holds true as we move forward and get closer to the draft at the end of June. But what's next for the San Antonio Spurs now that they have the number 2 pick in this year's NBA draft? Well, first and foremost, Brian Wright was asked after about the opportunity that's in front of this ball club.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of team building. You want the highest level talent you can and the highest character, and we think that there's good players in this draft that help us accomplish that, though. We're excited to go forward. Great night for the organization, for the city, for the team.
Yeah, I think all of those things are absolutely true. Great night for the organization, great night for the city, no doubt about it. Mitch Johnson, who was representing the Spurs last night at the draft lottery, and I think you got to give Mitch an A. Not bad. He didn't get the number 1 pick, but, he gets the number 2 pick, which is not bad. Plus the 14th overall, by the way. We can't forget about that one. But Mitch, after the draft, said he was excited about the possibilities.
We have some guys and ladies that's their strong suit. They'll have a lot more complex, advanced ideas. But, again, we have a good group we feel good about already, and to continue to add pieces to that is something that we're excited about.
Absolutely, and you should be. But I want you to listen to this Mitch Johnson bite before we go back to the phone lines at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. He talks about this, and you read it a couple of different ways, and I'm curious as to how y'all will read it. he actually talks about a possible acquisition.
I'd say it's nerves, right? It's not nervous because it's all good things, but it's nerves because you want it all. And when you jump into the top four, again, you put yourself as an organization in a place to make a really big acquisition with a really good player, and that's what we're going to look forward to do.
A big acquisition of a very good player. Now, I don't know. You can read that a couple of things. Is he talking about one of the draft picks? Big acquisition. I'm not sure I would consider that a big acquisition, although you're going to get a good player at number 2. Or is he talking about a big acquisition as in I don't know, let's throw out a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is that what he's talking about? See, the beauty of it and where you have to take that both ways is because they have so many options. So many options, and everybody should be excited about it. We're going to go over some of those options in just a moment. First, though, I want to go back to the phone lines at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Dylan, welcome to the Blitz.
Joe, I don't think Giannis wants to be here in San Antonio. And that's not to say I don't want Giannis here. I can't see him coming all the way from Milwaukee. I know we have the money, the resources, the players, but what about the coaching? What about the ring that he's looking for?
Well, he's got 2 of them, Dylan, already. And
I know it.
Well, if you look at Giannis, though, I mean, Milwaukee's not exactly New York or L.A. I don't think he's that kind of guy, honestly. The only thing that would concern me is, number one, he's about as loyal as anybody I've ever seen. Will they convince him to stay in Milwaukee? And then number 2, does he want to come to the Western Conference? Because if I'm a player like Giannis, I might not want to come to the Western Conference. It's just too damn tough.
And you put it just how it is. I don't think he wants to play against all these teams. I don't think he wants to get there. It's easier to get to the championship from the Eastern Conference, and it's easier to have a lot of talk to get a lot more money. I think Giannis is making his scheme.
You could very well be right.
You,
all right, man. Thanks for the phone call, Dylan. I appreciate it. He could be right. And while we sit here and the Spurs should do this and they should get Giannis, Giannis, it takes 2 to tango. And so he may not want to tango with a team in the Western Conference. So we'll have to see what happens and what transpires over the next few weeks. But I do want to go over this real quick because CBS put out mock trades for Giannis. One's for KD as well. And they've got a couple of different scenarios. And if I'm looking at this thing, they've got some goofy ones that I don't even want to get into. Giannis to the Spurs. Here's what they are suggesting. They're suggesting a 3-way trade between the Bucks, the Pelicans, and, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs would get Giannis. The Bucks, in return, and don't lose your mind, everybody, they say Castle, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, a 2025 number 2 overall pick, and the most favorable of Milwaukee and New Orleans first-round pick in 2026. The Pelicans would then, in turn, get the number 14 pick, currently owned by the San Antonio Spurs, and Atlanta's unprotected 2027 first-round pick. Sounds like a lot. It says one of the biggest questions of the offseason was whether it was wise for San Antonio to go all in on a 30-year-old Giannis when Victor Wembanyama is a decade younger. What this does and what it goes on to say and what makes some kind of sense is you have Giannis for, 2-3 years, and then you still have some draft assets to improve once he leaves. And that's kind of the synopsis that they're making. My problem is, first of all, I'd love to keep Stephon Castle, and I know we've already heard from all of you guys. Nobody wants to trade Castle away. If you can get a Giannis, however, I think you have to consider just about anything at this point in time. And again, it's all about what he wants to do and can he fit here in San Antonio. All of those things are stuff that you have to keep in mind. I mean, you just absolutely have to keep in mind. So a lot of things to be decided. If I'm Brian Wright, and even Greg Popovich to some extent, if he's in there, R.C. Buford, and Mitch Johnson, who should be a part of this as well. You can look and write on a board right now and take a look at all the free agents and say, man, we've got some opportunities. We've got some choices. We can trade. We can sign free agents. We can do a lot of things. Now, Pledge put together this great chart here, and I want to give Pledge all the credit. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm talking about here. And it's got kind of how things stand as we sit today. The Spurs starting five, if we went into a game tonight, would be De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and Victor Wembanyama. Projected salary for the Spurs as we speak right now, $147 million. Now, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure out this first apron thing, the second apron thing, and all of that stuff. And there's a tax threshold of $187 million. Spurs right now at $147 million kind of tells you what they have to play with if you want to get to that point in time where you're just teetering on the edge and not. So about $40 million, roughly, give or take. So they've got some money to play with. Obviously, we know about all their draft assets that they have, which are just incredible. Free agents on this team, obviously Chris Paul is one. Jordan McLaughlin, Riley Minix, Charles Bassey, Mamu Kilishvili, David Duke, and Harrison Ingram, all are free agents. I don't expect Chris Paul to be back. I really don't expect him to be back unless he wants to put on a suit and tie and sit on the bench with Mitch Johnson. I think that'd be fantastic. Just not sure if he's still wanting to play ball or not. I just don't think he's not a starter on this team anymore. You've got De'Aaron Fox, who's got to fill that role, and you've got a Stephon Castle, who will fill the other guard spot. So I just don't see Chris Paul as a starter. Does he have to be or not? And that's what he's going to have to figure out. And if there's other offers out there for him, all of those things you're going to have to figure out. The Spurs have an opportunity. They've got some assets to go out and wheel and deal. If it's not for Giannis, then you've got an opportunity to go pick up some players that can help you right away, some veterans that can shoot, because the Spurs need shooters, and they certainly wouldn't hurt if they had a big man. So they need some pieces. There's no question about that. And they need some guys that can play defense, by the way, besides Victor Wembanyama. Let's throw that out there, because this team was not exactly a defensive juggernaut.
And Castle.
And
Castle.
And Castle. But it was not a defensive juggernaut, to say the least. And this team gave up a lot of points. So a lot of things to consider, a lot of things to take and keep in mind. And it's just a bright day, though, when you've got all that. And we can start looking ahead and talking about all kinds of different scenarios. And, again, we're letting you vent today. Not vent, celebrate, vent, whatever you want to do. And whatever you think about Giannis or whatever the case may be. Again, the phone lines are open at 656-3776. Let's go to G. Murph, who's been waiting there a little while. G. Murph, what's going on?
I've always been in on the idea of bringing Giannis to San Antonio. I get it. Having the number one draft pick would have been ideal, would have been superb. However, if we take a look at previous number one draft picks, Greg Oden, Yao Ming, just because you're projected to be this unicorn doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to come out to be. Look at Giannis. Giannis is already proven. You know what I mean? You know what you're getting with Giannis. And not to mention the fact that bringing a superstar like Giannis to San Antonio, now, of course, you talk about if he's traded or if he would be open. Listen, if he's traded, he ain't got no choice but to play where he's traded to. But it brings the idea of other free agents wanting to come here, like Chris Paul did, like De'Aaron Fox did. That's just how I feel about bringing Giannis and the impact that he would have here.
Well, look, G. Murph, I agree with you, and I think a guy like Giannis might want to play here. He might. I mean, you look at this team, and I mean, it's on the rise. And you've got a player like Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys out there in the NBA that would love an opportunity to play alongside that guy, including Giannis.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's a fit here. But, again, I think a lot's going to depend on what the Bucks want, how we can make it work, and the most important thing, what does Giannis want? What does he want to do? Does he want to come to the Western Conference and leave a pretty easy Eastern Conference? I mean, all of these things have got to be taken into consideration. We heard a bunch of comments from him, and G. Murph, thanks for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. We're heard all kinds of stuff yesterday about, Giannis would be open to moving to the Western Conference. He wants to go to a state where there's no taxes and all of that kind of stuff. And I get that, and it's easy to say right now. But when push comes to shove, what is he going to want to do? And we're sitting here thinking that fans want Giannis. And I would assume if you're Brian Wright, if you're Greg Popovich, if you're R.C. Slocum, if you're Mitch Johnson, you'd like to have a Giannis as well. I mean, who wouldn't? But does it fit? And that's a legit question, and it's one that we've got to talk about. I think it does. Others think it doesn't necessarily. Even if you brought in Giannis, though, I do agree with Pledge, you still need some help. You still need some pieces around. You have to. So before we take a break, let's go up and see what Gary's doing at 656-3776. Want to get to you, Gary. What's happening?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, everybody?
Good,
the
good.
Thing that I like about Giannis, the thing I like about Giannis is that he's a seasoned veteran. He's played with another big man in the lineup. You're already going to have De'Aaron Fox. I would not get rid of Stephon Castle. I'm sorry. I see nothing but growth from that young man right here. He's got it all. But if you put him, De'Aaron Fox, and you put Giannis on that, and Wemby, I just see great things from him. You can surround him with a bunch of garbage catchers, garbage collectors, and dog catchers, and they would be in the playoffs. I'm telling you, they're just going to do it. I think that's the way to go.
All right, Gary. I think you're in the majority, my friend. I think most people would love to see Giannis here in San Antonio wearing a Spurs jersey. I don't think there's any question about that. Hey, we're going to talk a lot of Spurs basketball, a lot of the NBA draft lottery. I know it's a big day for that, and everybody wants to comment on it. Hey, you can do that if you go to our YouTube page. You can do that right now. You can comment there. We've got discussions going on, debates going on the YouTube page right now, and it's always entertaining and always a lot of fun. And again, the phone lines are open at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. And again, we're going to be giving away two wristbands to the ACL Festival. The second weekend, October 10th through the 12th, we're taking qualifiers today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we're going to name and Friday for that matter, and we're going to name a winner at the end of the show on Friday afternoon. So if you want to participate today, I'm going to tell you how you can do that. Just remember, let's see, Pledge, how can I had something in my mind and then I went blank, as I normally do. It happens from time to time. The key word is mellow. Remember mellow. So when I get to the 5 o'clock hour, that is for Mellow Mushroom, by the way, because either way, if you're a qualifier, you do get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. We appreciate them as well. Mellow, remember that. So when I call for it at 5 o'clock, so the first caller to remember the keyword is going to be a qualifier. Everybody got that? So there you go. Right now it is mellow. And we're going to do that in the 5 o'clock hour here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, before we go away, though, I got to tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. I love talking about Stevens Roofing. Best in the business, family-owned business, locally based company. Been in business here for a long time, and they're not going anywhere. They're just the best. They take care of their customers. That's what they do, and they do it very well. And they do great work on roofing and solar, by the way. And again, it's going to get hot. I thought it was going to be a little hotter today, according to the weather forecast, but I think they were just a little bit off. The heat is coming. You know that. We live here in San Antonio and South Texas. You know the heat's coming. And that can do some damage to your roof. And look, keep in mind, we're still in spring. You never know when one of those thunderstorms is going to pop up. So you want to make sure your roof is in tip-top shape, and there's a great way to get that done right now. If you call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994, they'll send a crew out. They'll give you a free, no-obligation roof inspection. And they'll let you know if they think you need a new roof. They'll tell you that. If it's just a minor repair to something, they'll let you know that. And they'll even let you know if your roof is in great shape. They'll come down, tell you to have a nice day, and, well, happy summer. Either way, it's going to give you the peace of mind you need and you want when those storms come rolling in or the heat gets turned up. Give Stevens Roofing and Solar a call. Why don't you do it now? 210-785-0994.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
NBA playoffs tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers season may come to an end. They're trailing the Indiana Pacers 3-1. Game 5 from Cleveland tonight at 6 o'clock. Donovan Mitchell is a game-time decision with an ankle injury. That'll be followed up by the Nuggets and the Thunder from OKC at 8:30. That series all tied up at 2, and we're still awaiting word on the injury to Celtic star Jason Tatum. He went down late in last night's loss to the Knicks.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is celebrating his daughter's graduation. She's getting her master's from Arizona State. And with COVID and everything that happened with her when she graduated high school and then college the first time, they didn't really get to do much because of COVID and all that stuff. So this is the first time she's gotten to walk the stage. So Jason and, of course, his wife Joanna wanted to be there for that, and I don't blame them. Congratulations to the Minix family, and I hope they're having a great time. Although, classic Jason Minix, I'll tell you about in just a minute. First, we got some breaking news. Major League Baseball has finally done the right thing. Pete Rose and shoeless Joe Jackson have been reinstated by Major League Baseball. How about that? Finally. Now, both of those guys are no longer with us, but they did the right thing. Finally.
Is it the right thing?
I think it is, yeah. Pete Rose, what he did on the field as a player has nothing to do with what he did as a coach.
Sure.
Or anything else. The stats are there, and yes, I believe they did the right thing.
As a player, sure, but I would make sure there's that delineation on his plaque. But Shoeless Joe legitimately bet on his own team.
Yeah, but
as a player.
As we sit here today,
that was the rule in place. You bet on baseball, you're banned for life.
Well, it was the rule, but rules are made to be changed. Pledge.
I'm just saying.
Be happy today. You
Why?
got Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You got Shoeless Joe Jackson's back. Spurs have the number 2 draft pick. I mean, my goodness.
Those old head baseball writers are going to vote Pete Rose in?
Well, those that are still alive. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a good question. Look, Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's any question about it. None whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned. Pete needs to be there. And I'm happy that Major League Baseball did that and reinstated both of those guys. So onward we go. I got to tell you, though, before we get into the headline blitz, and Pledge pointed this out. I mentioned Minix is at his daughter's graduation, and I'm trying to find this, Pledge. I may have to get you to explain it, but I don't see it. Apparently, Minix was trying to get into this graduation ceremony without a sport coat on, and Arizona State made him put on a sport coat. He couldn't go into the ceremony without a sport coat. My question is, did they give him that coat, or did he bring it with him?
He had to have brought that, right?
Okay, dude, we're talking about Jason Minix here. We're talking about Jason Minix.
Yeah, and we're also talking about Joanna Minix, who's with them.
Well, that's a good point, too. But I just find that hilarious because...
You don't think Joe would have been like, hey, we're going to go somewhere nice to dinner, pack a sport coat at some point?
No. Well, yeah, I could hear her saying that. And then Jason said, I'm all right. I'm good. If it wasn't hot as hell in Arizona, he'd probably have a half zip on and blue jeans.
He does have blue jeans on.
He does. So Minix made him put on a sport coat. Now, I still haven't read it, and I'll do it during the next break, Pledge. But was it Arizona State that made him put on the sport coat? Interest. But he's got one on. Wow. I love that. Well, he had to have done that himself. But I bet you that was a rule. Had to have been, right? And your daughter's getting her master's degree, for goodness sake. You think you might want to dress up a little bit. My goodness, Jason Minix. How about that? Well, enjoy the graduation, Minix family. Your daughter, she's a good one, and she earned it, so that's really good. All right, it is 3 o'clock, actually 3:10, but it's time for the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You guys know and girls know that if you listen to the show at all, I make fun of a Cowboy fan. Because Cowboy fan always thinks, no matter what happened before, this is their year to win the Super Bowl. Always. Whether they tell you that or not, this is the year. Hope is alive, and the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, and that's the way that it goes. Well, I didn't realize that this applied to every Cowboy fan out there or every ex-player Cowboy. Troy Aikman proved me wrong today. He was on Good Morning America this morning.
We got 10 seconds left. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going to say Buffalo finally wins it.
Ooh.
Cowboys.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Come on, Stray.
You
know better than that.
Come on,
Troy.
Wow. Unbelievable. So Joe Buck makes a pick, and he says Buffalo. All right, legit pick. And then here comes Troy Aikman. Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Did you lose respect for Troy Aikman?
No, because I think he was saying that tongue-in-cheek, just because he had to. Can you imagine if you're Troy Aikman, you said, well, Philly's probably going to repeat.
He had to.
Or Washington's going to come in. You can't pick somebody else in the NFC East. He would have had to have picked somebody. Or maybe you agree with Joe Buck and just say, Buffalo. I don't know, but you can't pick against the Cowboys. You'd lose your Cowboy card. You'd lose the key to the lunchroom in Frisco.
I've heard him do it before.
Oh, Troy. He doesn't really think the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me?
Sounds like it.
Although when you're talking about former quarterbacks, they're pretty loyal. Troy Aikman picking the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. And, well, Tony Romo says that that George Pickens thing was pretty good.
Well, that's a big trade. I mean, that's having him and CD together is a game changer. And if you remember when they had Amari earlier and CD Lamb together, it makes it very difficult to focus on one player when you have two, kind of superstars out there. And I feel like when you have two guys like that, it just opens up the offense quite a bit. So I think the Cowboys did a great job this offseason. And kudos to the Joneses and what they did, because they needed to make up ground on the rest of the division, and they did.
All right, well, Tony Romo is happy about that. And I love the fact that Romo answered that question. He's actually trying to qualify for the U.S. Open because anybody can qualify for the U.S. Open. I mean, I could walk up there and try to qualify. Not that I would, but I could if I wanted to.
Why not?
I think you've got to go through a process, right? You can't just walk up to where Tony Romo is today. And I think you have to, do a qualify in a regional and then an area, and then finally you get to the big thing. So I think there's a process like that.
You're hitting it pretty well. I think you should.
Well, thanks, Pledge. Pretty happy you said that. See that? Pledge. Look at it. Another reason for this to be just a great day. Just a great day. Spurs with the number 2 pick. Minix's daughter graduating from Arizona State.
Minix in a sport coat.
And, Pledge said, I'm playing good golf. I love that. That's fantastic. I got to tell you about this because the PGA Championship is coming up. And I'll be honest with you, Pledge, and everybody else, I don't know that I've ever heard of this guy. Have you ever heard of Mahan? He's a former golfer, and I don't have the first name listed here, but he's talking about where they're playing the PGA Championship, and it's Quail Hollow in North Carolina. Now, I know Quail Hollow, Pledge, because I was there last year at the Wells Fargo. My wife works for Wells Fargo. We had an opportunity to go up there and watch the Saturday round there in Charlotte, North Carolina at Quail Hollow. It's a beautiful golf course. But this ex-golfer says, he said, I guess I would say Quail Hollow is like a Kardashian. He says it's very modern, beautiful, and well kept, but it lacks a soul or character.
You know Hunter Mahan.
Hunter Mahan. Well, I didn't know his last name or his first name.
Oklahoma State kid.
All right. I think it's a great quote, though.
It's a good quote.
Beautiful, well kept, modern, but lacks a soul or character. Now, I don't know the Kardashians. I'm sure Kim has a wonderful soul and character. The package looks good too. I mean, you know, the outside, it all fits. But I just I thought that was a pretty good bite. PGA Championship this week. My favorite player, certainly one of them, Jordan Spieth, got a chance to win the career Grand Slam if he wins this thing. And he says he was inspired by Rory McIlroy's win. How about that? He's inspired. Problem is, he's just not playing as well as Rory or Scheffler or any of those other guys.
Well, I hope he's inspired to find the fairway off the tee.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be a great start. There's no question about that. We're talking more Giannis for sure and the possibilities thereof. If you got a phone line, keep it there. And again, keep in mind, we're going to qualify somebody to win a couple of wristbands to the ACL Festival coming up in October in Austin. You got to remember the term mellow. All right, mellow. So when I call for that, and during the 5 o'clock hour, the first person to call in and give pledge that particular keyword, mellow.
Better know it.
And you can say it however you want.
I'm moving on.
Mellow. Or mellow. Or mellow. However you want to say it, it doesn't make any difference.
What about Milo?
No, it's got to be mellow. No Milos. It's all Mel. Mel. And the breaking news, in case you weren't with us, Pete Rose and shoeless Joe Jackson have been reinstated by Major League Baseball. What a day. What a day. Wait, when we come back, we're going to talk a little playoffs. Still haven't heard anything on Jason Tatum. He was supposed to undergo an MRI today, but anybody who watched that game last night, you got to think he blew his Achilles. It didn't look good for him. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we continue here on The Blitz.
The Morning Huddle.
I was once asked by a girl, gun to head, you've got to make out with one guy in the world. Who would you make out with?
Caitlyn Jenner.
And I said, I don't know if this is the correct response or not, but what I said was modern or historical. Yeah.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, summer is here. Time for gatherings, time with friends, family, activities, vacations. But how are you going to do that if you're dealing with low energy caused by low testosterone? The answer is simple. TRT from Synergenics and Low T Center. Go to fixmylowt.com to book that first appointment. You might see those online TRT services and think they're convenient, but really the hassle just even getting started. You end up spending hundreds of dollars and wasting time with unreliable test kits, and you wait for days for lab results before you even begin treatment. They say you meet with the doctor, but sometimes you don't even see an actual person on screen. Do you want to trust your health to a chat? Worst of all, you have to wait again to get your meds in the mail. Not really quality care. Trust the experts at Synergenics and Low T Center. They've been changing patients' lives for a combined 25 years. Most major insurances are accepted, so you have no excuse. Book that first appointment now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
Well, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
The San Antonio Brahmas return to the Alamo Dome this Friday, May 16th for their Hats Off to Heroes game presented by Crisis Human Performance. Join the Brahmas in honoring our nation's heroes at this special military and first responders appreciation night. Fans are encouraged to wear yellow in support of service members as the team battles the Memphis Showboats. Plus, the first 2,000 fans receive a free Brahmas hat. Get tickets at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix with a day off, celebrating his daughter's graduation. A lot going on today. Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson reinstated into Major League Baseball. Spurs with the number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft. Luckiest team alive when it comes to that, and I'm really happy about it. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that pick. As we get closer to the draft. It takes place in Brooklyn this year on the 25th and 26th of June. So a lot to talk about between now and then, certainly. But as we continue on, there's also been a lot of talk about trading that pick. Giannis Antetokounmpo, or something like that, is a big player that has indicated yesterday he'd be willing to take a look at some other teams. It's got everybody excited here in San Antonio, and I think a lot of people thinking that instead of using that pick on a college player coming out, a college player that's very talented, by the way, obviously when you're picking that high, or do you take a veteran that is proven and is an MVP and is bound for the Hall of Fame? That's a big topic of conversation. I want to get to the phone lines at 656-3776 because OZ has been hanging on. And OZ, were you wanting to talk about Giannis?
So, it's weird. I have 2 siblings that never grew up. And me and my brother Vince are the brother.
Hey, OZ, are you having a conversation with somebody? Dude, you got to – I'm sitting there. I think he was talking to somebody's brother or somebody. Not sure, but he wasn't talking to us. All right, OZ, I'm sure that was going to be a great call, my friend. No doubt. NBA playoffs are going on. I'm hoping this time next year we're still talking about a Spurs team that is involved in the NBA playoffs. Last night, though, boy, just a terrible night, honestly, for Jason Tatum. Again, the Celtics blow another big lead to the New York Knicks. The Knicks come back and win this thing. They lead this best-of-7 series 3-1. Jason Tatum looked like, to me, it was kind of a freak thing. I haven't seen an update just yet. He was supposed to get an MRI, but it looked like an Achilles. And obviously, even if it's not the way that it looked, he had to be carried off the floor. He was in a wheelchair after the game, wheeled out of the locker room and in to whoever's taking him home. And he's most likely done for the year. I just hope it's not as severe as we think, and he'll be back and ready to go for next year. But the Boston Celtics are in trouble. I'm really surprised because, again, when we first came on here, and I thought the way the Detroit Pistons played the Knicks, I thought they were toast in this series. But they have surprised me. And I have a theory that I've heard in other places. You know, the new Pope went to Villanova. And I think he sprinkled some good mojo on the New York Knicks. I'm not sure, but they're playing well. And it looks like they're going to win that series.
Are you suggesting the Catholic Pope brought injury to a Boston Celtic player?
I'm not saying that necessarily, Pledge. I'm just saying that the Knicks are playing well, and I didn't think they would win this series. And I would imagine, especially without Tatum, they're going to win this series. So it's just a matter of when. So we'll see. The Minnesota Timberwolves, a good game last night. Watched most of that game. In fact, just about all of it. And Golden State, I got to give them credit. You talk about veteran guys that just, are playing their hearts out and just don't have the horses to keep up without Steph Curry. It was a good game, but Minnesota wins it, and they now have a 3-1 lead over the Golden State Warriors. Looks like the Timberwolves are going to move on to the Western Conference Finals. Question is, who are they going to play? Tonight's late game is Denver at Oklahoma City. That series tied at 2, and you can read all the stats and all the odds and all that kind of stuff, but typically, there's a huge stat. Whoever wins Game 5 has the best odds of winning the series. So the fact that this game is in Oklahoma City certainly advantaged Thunder, you would think. But Denver's been playing them well. So it should be a good game tonight. Oklahoma City should win this thing. They're favored to win it. And we'll move back on to Denver for Game 6 and see what happens there. You've also got Indiana at Cleveland tonight. Indiana with a chance to knock out the Cavs. I've been reporting on SportsCenter that Donovan Mitchell is a game-time decision with a bum ankle. If he's out, Cleveland's in trouble. They're in trouble anyway. Let's just put it that way. Down 3-1. It's going to be very difficult for them to get back into this. Indiana's just kind of pushed them around. So you kind of look ahead. Can't really do that in the West other than Minnesota. You think they'll be in the finals, but who will they take on, Denver or Oklahoma City? It looks like it's going to be Indiana and the Knicks in the East, which I would think the Knicks are going to be favored in that series. I don't think there's any question about it. I think they would be favored, and it'd be something else if the New York Knicks, with the raucous crowd that they have at Madison Square Garden, that fan base is hungry for something good to happen to them, and it looks like it's going to happen, and they'll take on Indiana most likely. The Denver OKC, that thing could go 7 games. So Minnesota, if they take care of business tomorrow night, might have some rest ahead of them, which you would think might benefit them. So we'll see. It's been a good playoff, so I don't think there's any question about that. As soon as we get an update on Jason Tatum, we'll pass that along. But I feel bad for that guy. You talk about a guy that just doesn't get enough credit. You hear people talking about LeBron, Steph Curry, Ant, who I don't think has gotten a lot of credit either, but he has during these playoffs. Jason Tatum is one of those superstars that leads that team, and he just hasn't gotten the credit that I think he deserves. But unfortunate for him. And we got the docs on later, and I want to ask, because it was such a freak thing. It really was. He was kind of lunging for the ball and just goes down in a heap. And it's just, it was just a freak accident. And you feel bad for the young man. No question about that. But their season is all but over. as we move forward through the playoffs. Look, we've got a lot to talk about NBA-wise here in San Antonio. The excitement last night. Where were you, and did you think the Spurs were going to pull it off again? Dude, I'm telling you, I absolutely did. I thought, man, when they got down to the second pick and before they turned that Spurs card over, I thought, man, they're going to win this thing again. And we talked about it yesterday out at the Rue Pub. We talked about it. I said, would it really surprise you if the Spurs won this thing? And they almost did. They almost pulled it off, and by the longest of long shots, the Dallas Mavericks got it done, and now they've got the rights to Cooper Flagg. Their GM's already come out and said, we're not trading this guy away. We are going to make that pick, and Cooper Flagg is going to be a Dallas Maverick.
Rats.
Would have been cool to have Cooper Flagg in San Antonio.
I mean, he enjoyed his time here just last month.
Well, until he ran into Florida and
I think he still enjoyed
his time.
It
wasn't Florida.
Here.
I'm sorry. It was Houston. Houston that beat him.
Still think he enjoyed his time.
I'm sure he did.
He liked the Rock.
I'm sure he did. And was probably, picking out his locker and all of that stuff. But it didn't work out that way. Pledge brought up something before the show that I thought was pretty interesting. If you're the San Antonio Spurs, and everybody's talking about Giannis, what would you do or what would you give Dallas to move up to number 1 to draft Cooper Flagg? And I thought that was interesting, and I really would have to think about it, and I'd wonder what Dallas would want. Because if you just swap with them because you want Cooper, they're going to get a pretty good pick. Interesting. You guys think about that. And we'll go back to the phone lines here in just a bit at 656-3776, 656 ESPN. All the international games in the NFL have been announced. We know who's going. The Vikings got screwed. That's all I will say. The Vikings got screwed. And the NFL is going to go head-to-head against the college football playoffs in December. All that and a lot more we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Then I'm looking up at the TV right now. The Pledge has got on in his little glass box of fun, and Justin Thomas is on the driving range, and he's wearing shorts. And it just doesn't look, he looks like a 15-year-old kid. I'm just not used to that from the PGA Tour types. Those live guys, they can wear shorts, drink beer, play in scrambles. All of that stuff. But on a guy like Justin Thomas, it just doesn't look right. But they're getting ready for the PGA Tour Championship, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll talk more about that later in the week. If you guys want to. I know a lot of you guys aren't golf fans, and that's okay.
In round 2, I'm going to need you to wear pants. In the dead of summer.
Pledge. He ought to be getting used to the heat, right? I mean, I don't know how hot it is in North Carolina. I was there last year about this time, and it seemed a little hot. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. That's all. Just doesn't look right. He didn't have a white belt on either. I mean, that's a problem. It's a tan belt, but he's got tan shorts on. So I guess that's okay. I don't know. Doesn't look right. I'm going to get geeked up about that tournament, though, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's another major on the PGA Tour. I'm geeked up about the St. Louis Cardinals pledge, too. And Redbird's Junkie on our YouTube page reminds me of this. The Cardinals have now won 9 in a row. 9 pledge in a row.
World Series loading, baby.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. And I saw something today from that weak Cubs organization that they were in first place. I don't know if you've noticed, Cub fan, but the Cardinals are right on your butt. 1 game back.
Right on your butt in second place?
1 game back. I mentioned they've won 9 in a row.
But second, right?
They're right now.
Okay.
It's
just
May.
checking.
It's May, pledge. It's May. 9 in a row.
I mean, you should really, I think, put a hefty amount on the Redbirds winning the whole thing.
You know, I might do that because, honestly, coming into the season, I have a lot of hope. But they're starting to gel. It's kind of like, you ever see the movie Major League?
Oh, yeah.
We're coming together. They're peeling clothes off the owner's picture as we speak.
Believe they lost in the second round.
I think they won the whole thing.
No, they just beat the Yankees.
Oh, that's all they wanted to do. However, I just thought I'd point that out. Adam Silver. I just saw a tweet from Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. And he says when the owners get together in July, they're going to seriously discuss expansion. And 2 cities are mentioned, Seattle and Las Vegas. Now, you know it's just a matter of time before the NBA would get its claws into Las Vegas. Everybody's there. The only professional sports franchise that is not is the NBA. And, of course, Spurs fans always concerned that it was going to be us, that the Spurs would be that team, but it looks like they're going to get an expansion team at some point in time. So that's good. Playoffs taking place right now, and our good friend Rio's been waiting on the line at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Rio, what's on your mind, my friend?
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
All right, that's good, good. I just wanted to say, first of all, congratulations to Minix and family.
All right, all right.
I do have like a 2-part question. I know you're a betting man, so tonight, Game 5, who you taking, Denver or OKC?
You know, I'd have to look. You don't know what the line is, do you, Rio?
I sure don't. I haven't been able to look at it today.
Well, I'm going to look, most of these games, I think it's competitive. I think Oklahoma City's going to win tonight. I will say that. I think they'll win, but I'm looking here as I pull up my handy-dandy app that I'm not supposed to have, and that the state of Texas gets absolutely no benefit from. And I'm looking here, the Thunder are -10 tonight.
Okay.
I'm taking Denver all day long.
Yes, sir.
Points.
Okay.
All day long. By the way, the Cavaliers, for some reason, are 8-point favorites over the Pacers tonight, according to this. But, yeah, I will have my money on the Denver Nuggets +10.
Gotcha. Is Donovan Mitchell playing? Have they cleared him?
No, it's a game-time decision, so we won't know until closer to game time.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, that could make a hell of a difference. That's a lot of points there, too. But, you know, the Pacers can just toy with Cleveland right now, I think. Right?
Yeah,
let them win Game 5, and we'll go home and win it in front of the home folks.
Yes, sir. Yep, absolutely. And then my second part question will change up, but how were the faces? Did you hear the grunts or oohs or ahs at the Repub yesterday? Because, like you said, if we would have got the number 1 pick, then everybody's bill would have been paid for. So, getting that second pick, something probably had to dish out some money.
Well, I don't know if they had any money on it, but I know that, obviously, depending on how big your tab was at the Repub up until that point. But it was because I was taking video of the crowd, and it was like, because they thought they had it, and then there were big boos when Dallas ended up with it. So
absolutely.
So that's it. But and that was a fun night at the Repub, and that's the best place to do that, man.
Yes, sir.
That's outstanding. Rio, I appreciate the phone call, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just got some breaking news here, Pledge. Sham Charania is reporting that Jason Tatum underwent surgery to repair a torn right Achilles tendon, catastrophic season-ending injury for one of the NBA's young faces, and a long rehab awaiting. So it was a torn Achilles, and he's already had surgery. So there's the update on Jason Tatum. Certainly, obviously out for the year, but this guy's out for a long time. I mean, that kind of an injury, and we'll talk to the docs when they come. It's when we have them on later in the show, and that's about a year-long rehab process. I mean, he's in danger of missing the entire year with an injury like that. So that is bad. Bad for the Celtics.
I got more breaking news for you.
Talk to me, brother.
Look at your Twitter DM.
Twitter DM.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Next year's – oh, wait a minute. That wasn't it. Oh, you talking about Olivia Dunn? Oh, my goodness. I'm officially a Sports Illustrated swim cover model, says Olivia Dunn. And why not? Sports Illustrated would be kind of stupid if they didn't make that move.
It's accompanied with photo evidence for you.
Yeah, I see the photo, Plaid. You're trying to distract the hell out of me as we go. I'm trying to remember I'm an old guy and she's very young. And I probably look like a creeper.
It's okay, Bill.
Yeah, well, whatever. Hey, if it's okay for Bill Belichick.
If the GOAT can do it.
That's right. That's right. Well, good for Livy. Good for her. I got to check and see if my subscription to Sports Illustrated is paid up. Renewed. Yes, and all of those kinds of things. Goodness gracious. Where were we? What city are we in? What day is it?
I was supposed to see if I need to call the cops tonight.
Call the cops?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Handy Andy app that you're supposed to have.
Oh.
You know, there might be some physical violence later,
well,
according to a certain Dallas area representative.
I don't know. Are you talking about my betting app?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your handy dandy app?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I think it's legal. It's one of those it's on one of the islands somewhere, you know what I mean? So I think it's legal. It's just, great state of Texas is not getting a dime from it. So that's their problem. That's certainly their problem. NFL is my favorite time to bet and use that app. And, of course, the NBA playoffs. I love to do that. So, but the NFL they're leaking their stuff. Tomorrow night is the official schedule release. But we're getting a lot of stuff leaked. And all the international games were announced today. The Chiefs are going to take on the Chargers in Brazil on September 5th. Now, we knew it will be officially announced tomorrow, but by all intents and purposes, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs who will play the Chargers in Brazil on September 5th. And, of course, that's right after the Cowboys take on the Eagles in the opener on September the 4th. So a couple of really good ball games, bang, bang, right out of the gate. The Minnesota Vikings, they're going to have to pack for a long time. And I don't know if they're happy about this or they had any choice in the matter or what the case may be, but the Steelers will take on the Vikings in Dublin on September 28th, and then the Vikings are going to have to fly to London where they will take on the Browns the very next week. So they've got to stay in Europe for a long time. By the way, Pledges put something. YouTube's going to carry that Week 1 game between the Chargers and the Chiefs from Brazil. It's going to be on YouTube TV, but it will be also streamed at the same time on YouTube. And that's the first time in NFL games that's ever happened, correct? Which I find interesting. So
completely free.
Yeah, completely free. So if you're not buying a television set, but you have your computer, you can watch it on YouTube. So I find that pretty interesting. Vikings with back-to-back games in Europe, September 28th and October 5th. Week 6, the Broncos will take on the Jets in London. So there'll be back-to-back games in London, actually 3 in a row in London, the way this sits, October 5th, the 12th, and the 19th. So you get Vikings, Browns, Broncos, Jets, and then Rams, Jags, all playing in London. So 3 weeks in a row, you're going to have NFL football in London. London has really become a favorite of the NFL. And not only a favorite of the NFL, a favorite of football fans in London. Every time we go to the Super Bowl, we see our friends from London who are radio presenters over there, and they're loving it. And it's really taken off. The NFL has taken off in London for sure. In Week 10, the Falcons will take on the Colts in Berlin. That game will take place on November the 9th. And the Dolphins and Commanders will play in Spain on November the 16th. So that's your international games. Cowboys avoided that. So did the Texans. They don't have to go overseas. So good for both of them, unless that's something they wanted to do. November 10th, the Eagles and Packers will meet up at Lambeau Field on Monday Night Football. Christmas Day, the Broncos and Chiefs will play on Christmas Day on Prime. The Black Friday game on Prime is going to be the Bears taking on the Eagles. So those two have been announced, Christmas Day, and you've got the Black Friday game there as well. Now, the controversy that's been stirred up for this thing is the NFL is going to go up against the college football playoffs December the 20th, okay? It will be 3 on-campus games that day for college football playoffs, but they're going to have to go head-to-head against 2 division rivalry games. One of them, Green Bay versus Chicago in the Windy City, and then the Eagles against the Washington Commandskins. So both of those, it's interesting. And a lot of college football fans are saying this is not right. The NFL shouldn't do it. But the NFL just throws them the bird and says, well, we're doing it anyway, whether you like it or not. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, you got your choice. You want to watch some college football, you want to watch some pro football, or flip around. Or if you're Jason Minix, you can have 2 TVs in your living room and watch them both. But that's what they're doing. But that's causing the most controversy right now. Now, keep in mind, there'll be some more leaks tomorrow. And then the official show is tomorrow night. I think 7 o'clock, something like that, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever it is. But they're making a show out of the schedule release for the NFL. That's how big that they are. It's going to be interesting to see some of the matchups. When you're talking about the Cowboys and the Texans, Cowboys, remember, have what I think the 3rd hardest schedule. I know they're in the top 5 of that category. So there's going to be some tough games on that schedule. A lot of those tough games, though, are at Jerry World. I know the Kansas City Chiefs have to go to Jerry World. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are some there's some good games that are going to be in Dallas. And so if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you go up there, we'll know that all Wednesday night. We may get a sneak peek at some of those. Look, when you're talking about Dallas and Kansas City, I don't care. I mean, that's a big matchup. That's just a big matchup. I think the Texans pledge, correct me if I'm wrong, are right middle of the pack when it comes to 18th. So about middle of the pack, so give or take, as far as toughest schedule goes. And again, that's all based on last year, right, and how those teams finished that they're going to play and all of that kind of stuff. So interesting stuff. I can't wait for football season, dude.
You know, we are officially 17 weeks away from the start of the football season.
17 weeks away. That's like an NFL season
right
there,
We are one
Pledge.
football season away from football season.
Well, the good news is, Pledge, is rookie minicamp's going on. The Cowboys get together for an OTA next week. And some other teams do. I don't know the Texans' schedule as well, but you can keep us up on that. But they got to be getting together. So they get together a couple more times over the summer. They end up, I'm going to say roughly at the end of June, 3rd week in June, and then they can all
camps, yep.
And they can all take a break until training camp gets started there at the end of July. So
that's when we really start ratcheting up.
Absolutely. So looking forward to that. It's going to be outstanding. Bernardo on our YouTube page says Cowboys play in Las Vegas, and they do play in Las Vegas. And I can't wait to see that because there were promises of, a little resort called Circa. That might
I was going to say, are y'all going to be there for that?
That could be a possibility depending on when the game is. I don't know the answer to that, but you never know. So I'm going to be excited to see when that game is taking place. It's
Thanksgiving Day.
It won't be on Thanksgiving Day, I know, because the Cowboys always play at home. So I know it won't be on that day. That's for sure. Now, when it's going to fall, who knows? But it won't be on Thanksgiving Day. Going to be interesting. And if it was, say, honey,
gotta work.
They have turkey in Vegas. We'll go get it there. But, yeah, fortunately, the Cowboys always play at home on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be fun. They'll release that schedule coming up. And
they say you're supposed to spend Thanksgiving with loved ones. I mean,
absolutely.
Y'all love Circa.
We love Circa. Sydney, did I say that out loud? Hold on. Wait a minute. That'd be quite a turkey. That'd be awesome. Oh, my goodness. Man, that's two you got me with in this segment, Pledge.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Circa.
Yeah, Circa.
Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. Levy Dunn. You know, it's like you start and you bookended those two shiny products. Very nicely done. Hey, we're talking a lot about the NBA Draft Lottery, and we want you to chime in. Where were you? What was your reaction to what happened? And don't forget, coming up at in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to qualify someone to win 2 wristbands to the ACL Festival weekend number 2. So that's October 10th through the 12th. All right? The Morning Huddle's doing the same thing. We're doing it. They're qualifying people. They've got 2 people qualified now. We got one yesterday. We'll have another one in the 5 o'clock hour. And what you have to do is remember the key word, which is mellow. All right? Keyword is mellow. So when I call for that, if you're the first caller to call in and say mellow to one James Pledger, then you will be a qualifier. And if you are a qualifier, you get a $50 gift card to the Mellow Mushroom, which is a great prize. So whether you win the tickets or not, you're going to get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. So it's fantastic. You can also lock in your tickets now if you want to make sure that you have them at aclfest.com. aclfest.com. So be sure and tune in the 5 o'clock hour. If you have to go away for a little while, shame on you. But if you have to, you have to. Just make sure you're back in the 5 o'clock hour. And remember the term mellow. The Blitz continues here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 1604 with the Blitz.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-2007. That's 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
Gomez Law Firm has been fighting for the rights of San Antonians for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. What is something you see often as a personal injury attorney and protecting your clients?
The one thing we always see without fault in a case is that the insurance company will always reach out to them soon after the collision and they try to get them to agree to a low settlement. They try to get them to agree to signing a piece of paper. They want them essentially to sign their rights away without ever even consulting with an attorney. Right? In the grand scheme of things, if you sign a piece of paper, you're signing your future interest away. So that's why it's so important to call the Gomez Law Firm, because we make sure we protect your rights and you're not signing your life away, you're not signing your rights away.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then call the Gomez Law Firm first. 210-736-4040 or visit joegomezlaw.com. Protect your family and protect your rights.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief occasion. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
Go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it was close once again, but when the smoke cleared, the Spurs secured the number 2 overall draft in this year's overall pick, I should say, in this year's NBA draft. Spurs also have the 14th overall selection. The Mavericks shocked everybody with only a 1.8% chance. Draft takes place June 25th and 26th. Cavs, well, they play tonight trying to stay alive against the Pacers, Nuggets, and Thunder. That series tied at 2.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
What a happy day in San Antonio today. The sun shone a little brighter. The grass was a little greener. I heard the birds, they were tweeting a little louder. It was all great. All great. Big day in San Antonio last night. Spurs secure the 2nd overall pick in this year's NBA draft. And I'm telling you, I don't know how you guys were, where you were watching, what you were doing, but I guarantee you, I thought the Spurs had done it again. I thought they had done it again. It's incredible when it comes down to the final 2 pieces of paper or cardboard or whatever those things are. I really thought they were going to turn over the Spurs as the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Not that. They get the number 2 pick, and we're happy today. And this is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, well, he's got some time off because he's celebrating his daughter who is getting to walk the stage today because she's got her master's degree from Arizona State. And first time she's gotten to walk the stage. There was COVID with one. I don't know if that was high school or not, or whatever it was, or her first college degree. And then for some reason, when she got her first master's, because this is her second master's, by the way, she's a very intelligent woman. She had to have gotten all of that from her wife, from her mother, I mean. So but she didn't get it from her dad. I can guarantee you that. Second master's degree, but she had the opportunity to walk the stage today. And so we're really happy for the Minix family. There's no question about that. And when you look on Jason's Instagram account, you see him in a sports coat. Now, if you're new to the show, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. If you're not new to the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jason is not the best dresser in the world. The guy is, well, he's very casual for all kinds of events. And so the fact that he had a sports coat on, made me and James Pledger, who's running things today, by the way, in his glass box of fun, made us think that, well, he was forced into doing it. So I just texted Minix, Jason, just a few minutes, or James, a few minutes ago, and asked him, I said, did your wife make you wear that? He claims, no, that he picked out his own outfit. Now, I'm calling BS on that.
100%.
I'm calling BS on that, and there's no way he picked out his own outfit. But that's what he's claiming. I got it right here on the text, and I'm not sure about that. But either way, the guy had on a sports coat today, as he should have. And so I hope he's crying. Although I hope he's telling the truth, because I said I'm calling BS on him. But he did have that on. So, again, a happy day for the Minix family, and we're happy for them, certainly. Erica Minix she's a good girl. Young lady now. She's not a kid anymore, but she's very intelligent and very nice, just like her mother. Again, every quality she has comes from Joanna and not Jason. That's for sure. But, again, we are happy for them. And it's just a happy day. That just adds to the happiness of San Antonio. It really does, because after the number 2 pick is secured, and look, a lot of people are happy about that. We were talking yesterday that if you get the number 1 pick, what would you do with it? Would you keep Cooper Flagg? Would you package that into a trade maybe for Giannis? Or what would you do with it? So now we don't have to decide that, or that part of the question is no longer there. Cooper Flagg, most likely, unless something crazy happens, is not coming to San Antonio. Instead, he's on his way to Dallas. The Mavericks said today that they're not trading Cooper Flagg. They're going to keep that pick, and they're going to draft Cooper Flagg, which gives San Antonio and Spurs organization some things to think about. Some pretty good players, obviously, in the draft. After all, this is the magical year of 2025 that everybody was waiting for, with all the good players that are coming out. So there's some good players. If the Spurs choose to just go and draft and go chalk, then they're going to be in pretty good shape. It won't be bad at all. In fact, most mock drafts have them selecting Dylan Harper, who is a shooting guard, point guard, depending. He can play both, out of Rutgers. Rutgers, you know what's funny about that pledge is that you look at Rutgers, most mock drafts have 2 of their players going in the top 3. Were those the only 2 guys they had?
Is that a red flag?
Oh, I don't know. But it's the only 2. I mean, you're talking about Cooper Flagg, and then you got Rutgers. And so I'm thinking you might have seen them make a run in the tournament.
500 team.
So, interesting. Now, everybody else just must have been poo. If you got those 2... No disrespect to anybody. But, I mean, I'm just saying, if those 2 guys are that good, where they're going to go 2 and 3 by most accounts in the NBA draft, both of these guys freshmen, by the way, which is interesting. So they're young guys who you would think need a little development in the NBA. So as good as they are and as good as they're projected to be, I wouldn't think that either one of these guys, Harper or Ace Bailey, would be day one guys that are going to come out and make a big difference. Although I guess they could. Stephon Castle, it took him about half a season to get his footing underneath him, and once he did, he really turned it on. And we were blaming Mitch Johnson for that, remember? That he wasn't playing him, and once he started playing him, Castle showed what he could do.
Well, remember, too, Castle got minutes early in the year because Vassell was hurt.
Yeah.
He looked really good early in the year. Then they moved him to the bench and forced Devin Vassell back into the starting lineup. And there was continuity issues and fit issues with the way the Spurs struggled during that time trying to adapt. I always felt the better pairing was Castle and Wemby together, with Devin coming off the bench, but they never went back to Devin off the bench.
Well, instead, Keldon Johnson was moved there and really became the sixth man for the Spurs. And look, I'm going to give Keldon Johnson a lot of credit because when he was moved to the bench into that second unit, into the Manu Ginobili role, if you will, he started playing better. And in that's the only reason why, if they Spurs decided they wanted to hang on to Keldon as that guy, why not? That's not a bad move, and I think he adjusted to that very well. I don't know if Devin Vassell could do that or not. I'm still waiting for Devin Vassell to become the player that I always thought that he could be. Obviously, he's a talented guy, but the Spurs need a shooter, and they needed him to become that shooter.
When was the best we saw Devin Vassell this year?
Without Wemby.
And Fox.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the fit is he needs the ball. He needs to be a ball dominant to kind of get his shot off. Wouldn't coming off the bench allow him to be that? To where maybe you get the best version of Devin Vassell.
Well, that could very well be. But look, let's face it, if the Spurs are going to make a move and they're going to make a trade, at least if you're not including Castle in the picture, which most people don't want to do, then Devin Vassell is your biggest trading piece. I mean, he is. I think he would draw the most interest of anybody. And I'm looking on our YouTube page, and if you haven't been to our YouTube page, go there, subscribe to the YouTube page, and you can comment there as well. There's always some good debates among the folks inside there, but it's just perhaps he would be okay coming off the bench. And if you had a Devin Vassell and a Keldon Johnson coming off the bench, I just don't think both of those guys will be here next year. And if one of them's here, I guess I could see that, but I could also see where both of them are gone as well.
Think or hope?
Depends on who they bring in. Look, I'm a Devin Vassell fan, and I've been waiting for this guy to be the guy that I thought he could be. He's just very inconsistent shooting-wise, and that's what they need out of him. They need a scorer, and Devin Vassell hasn't proven that he can consistently do that.
Now, think about if the Spurs don't make a roster move, right? In terms of they hold their picks, et cetera, et cetera.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's no Giannis. There's not, just the Spurs continue to go about their process of not skipping steps, right? Let's just imagine that's the route they go.
I hope you're wrong, but okay.
I hope I am too, but if they were to go that route, and they draft, say, Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's kid, at number 2 overall, who is, in any other year, a consensus number 1 overall pick.
Of course, sure.
What if you have a lineup that includes Wemby, Harrison Barnes, Castle, Fox, and whether it's Vassell or Harper as a starting 5, and the back unit has Vassell or Harper, and then you also have Sohan and Keldon. It's not a bad second unit.
If I'm not mistaken, though, and I'd have to look at it, maybe you know the answer to this, isn't Sohan due for a contract?
He is.
So
next year, I believe.
You're going to have to...
He's extension eligible this offseason, but I believe it's next year that...
So you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with him, right? You're going to have to decide. And look, quite frankly, I mean,
I'm not paying him 30.
Well, no, and this is and no disrespect to Bruce Bowen, because he fit and he had his role on that Spurs team. There's no question. He was a big part of it. But Jeremy Sohan, it fits into that mold to me. I mean, certainly not as good a defender as Bruce Bowen.
No.
Bruce Bowen was a lockdown defender, this guy. But Bruce Bowen could also hit a 3 when you needed him to from that corner. So, but he's kind of in that mold, and I just don't – I'm not sure if there's a place for him.
I like to equate him to Draymond Green. He's an energy guy, a dirty guy, a does all the little things guy. That's an important guy to a championship team.
Sure, maybe.
But he's the last piece of it.
Yeah, and if you had to do without him, you would be okay with it.
You can find him again.
Yeah, you'd be okay with that. So I see where you're coming from there. I don't know. I just think I would like to see some big changes to this team. And if you're going to go out, look, and I would be certainly okay if you're not going to go out and get a big superstar like Giannis, and I get why you would not do that, but there's got to be some players. Because you're right, and we talked about this earlier. When you look at the Spurs run, their playoff run from 99 to 2014, it was always adding just pieces that fit in perfectly. And when you're talking about guys like Robert Horry, when you're talking about guys like Steven Jackson, Pau Gasol when he was here, guys like that just would fit a role. If you want to do that and build around Castle and Wemby and what the hell and Fox. Yes, fine, do that, but you got to fill in, and you need some shooters, and I'm okay with that. And I just don't think what we have now is that. I just don't. Defensively, it was awful last year. Castle could play some defense. Wemby obviously is a good defender, but nobody else, I don't even think, knew how to spell defense. So it was bad. It was really bad. And so there's got to be some tweaks to this lineup. There has to be. And I would be very disappointed if the Spurs used both of their picks and stay pat with this lineup that they have. Because, quite frankly, you stay pat with this lineup, I don't – does that get – maybe you make the playoffs with this lineup. Everybody stays healthy. But I certainly don't consider it a championship roster by any stretch of the imagination, especially in the Western Conference. And so there's got to be some moves. And I believe the Spurs are going to at least attempt to do that. And what gives me hope is the De'Aaron Fox trade. That gives me hope. They went out and they did that. They're going to have to sign him to an extension. And so I have to believe that they are their version of all in, their version of doing whatever they can to get this team championship ready, or certainly closer to championship ready than they are right now. Obviously, health is a big factor. Everybody's got to stay healthy, but that's any team. You can say that about any team. You lose some key players, well, you're not going anywhere. And that's kind of the way it was for the Spurs after Fox showed up, with Wemby going down with that blood clot and then them shutting Fox down to go ahead and have that surgery on his pinky.
Now you bring up the $40 to $50 million in potential cap space that the Spurs may have between the threshold and the first apron.
Right.
I imagine that De'Aaron Fox trade is coming as soon as it's, or De'Aaron Fox extension's coming as soon as it's available to him.
Yes, you have to. He's not a rental.
Which is this summer.
Right.
Is when he can sign.
Exactly.
How much of that cap space does that eat up?
Well, and you're gonna that's when you're gonna have to say a Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and a Devin Vassell to make numbers match are going to have to go. So, and the only way to do that, the way I look at it as we sit here today, is you're going to have to trade those guys. I think Vassell is going to be packaged in something for somebody. I just believe that's going to happen, and that's going to take care of some of that. And then you figure out what you're going to do with the rest of those guys. But if Sohan needs a new deal, I'm not paying the guy what he probably thinks he's worth. I'm not doing it because I just don't know that he's long term. It's going to be an interesting offseason.
I'm knocking on Brooklyn's door. I've got Devin Vassell. I've got first-round picks. What do you want for Cam Johnson?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I need floor spacing, and then I try and add a big, whether it's Naz Reid or Brook Lopez, that can space the floor in free agency.
I think, look, you need a rim protector, so Wemby can do what Wemby does on the outside away from the basket. So you need a rim protector there as well. Look, I would love to have Giannis here. Obviously, that's a fantasy, and it'd be great to see him in a Spurs uniform. But if that's not it, then you're right. Some other veteran guys like you just mentioned. And Cam Johnson, I mean, is a guy that's he's in his prime. I mean, he's young. So he can move along. Brook Lopez obviously would be a short-term fix. But Yeah, I'm okay with stuff like that. I think it'd be just fine, but they got to make some improvements. You can't stand pat, not anymore. And I'm done with the let's don't skip steps stuff. It's time to run up the stairs and not walk. It's just simply time to do that. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the draft lottery. We'll hear from Brian Wright and Mitch Johnson, and also Cooper Flagg. And now that the Mavericks have come out and said they are not trading that pick, I want you to listen to Cooper Flagg when we play it coming up in a moment, and tell me if he is excited about living in Dallas for the next 4 or 5 years. We'll do all that and a whole lot more when we come back here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Before we go, though, I want to tell you about my good friends at Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. My goodness, this thing is unbelievable. I've got one in my house, and I was a skeptic. I'm going to tell you, I was. I didn't think it could be that much better than anything else I've ever had, but it is. It is a game changer, in fact. It is that much better. I mean, head and shoulders better than anything else I have ever had. Look, it's the best on the market. It is the absolute best on the market, and you need to treat yourself. Not only treat yourself, treat your family, and treat your home, because it's going to protect everything in there from your dishwasher, your washing machine, all of that kind of stuff, and the pipes that run those things. You need one. You do. They're all made in America. You can be proud of that. And it doesn't run on electricity. I like that. You don't plug it in. So if your electricity goes out, you're still going to have water because your Connecticut Quality Water Softener runs on kinetic energy. I love that about it. And right now, for a limited time, you get a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they're going to install right there at your kitchen sink. So you can consider that bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. They're also going to give you $400 to trade-in of your old water softener and free money. I love this. They're going to give you free money, 0% interest for 12 months. That's incredible. It's one heck of a deal. You know it's not going to last long. Give Connecticut with San Antonio and the Hill Country a call. To do that, you call 656-PURE, 656-7873, or go to ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas Tailgate. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Faith, and a whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only, limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, we got tickets to give away to the San Antonio Brahmas game against Memphis. May 16th, that is this week. It's actually Friday, is it not? On Friday night, yep. You get a 4-pack of tickets. If you don't get your tickets or you don't win them here, you can go to ufl.com/San Antonio tickets and buy them there. But if you want to go to the San Antonio Brahmas game, you want to win a 4-pack of tickets to go see your Brahmas play in the Alamo Dome Friday night, just be caller number 9 right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Caller number 9, you're going to walk away with a 4-pack of tickets to see the Brahmas take on the Memphis Showboats this Friday night. And don't forget, we are going to qualify somebody today to win 2 wristbands to the ACL Fest. Second weekend number 2, October 10th. Morning Huddle's doing this. They qualified somebody this morning. We're going to do it this afternoon as well. We're going to do it all the way through Friday, and then we'll name a winner on Friday. But if you're a qualifier, you are still going to get a great prize, a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Pizza there is fantastic. Drinks are great there, too. So we're going to qualify somebody. Sabrina Carpenter's going to be there. She may or may not have clothes on. You just never know about Sabrina Carpenter or what kind of thing she's going to be wearing, which should make it interesting. Is it Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, and many, many others going to be performing at Austin Zilker Park? How we're doing it today, for those of you that don't know, or those of you that might have gotten here late, you just have to know the key word. It is mellow. All right, first person to call in during the 5 o'clock hour, not now, but during the 5 o'clock hour, when I say so, you have to know that keyword mellow, and the first person to tell Pledge that word will be qualified for the 2 wristbands. And again, if you don't get qualified today, you're going to have another chance in the morning with the Morning Huddle fellas, and then another chance tomorrow afternoon, same on Thursday, same on Friday. They'll pick their winner on Friday before their show ends, and then I'll pick the winner on Friday afternoon before this show ends. So that's how it works. 5 o'clock hour, we're going to do that. So be patient, hang on, stay tuned. If you have to leave, just remember you got to come back in the 5 o'clock hour. And I want to tell you, I think I can't even imagine what Travis Kelce goes through with being Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And I say that because I just saw an article, and it just came up, and the headline of this article is, "What the F are you doing?" Taylor Swift fans take major issue with Travis Kelce's hairstyle at Amazon MGM Studios. Can you imagine? If the Swifties don't like your hairstyle, you're going to hear about it. You are going to hear about it. Somebody wrote, "Travis, what the actual F are you doing?" A fan tweeted. And it shows his hairstyle. It's kind of a slicked back, almost mafioso-like, right, where it's kind of slicked back. They didn't like that at all. Another fan commented, "What up with that hairdo?" Somebody else said, "I'm just glad we're not doing the mustache and the feathered bowl cut this season." Boy, I tell you what, that's man, they're brutal, these Swifties, right? But another girl took up for him. He said, "Travis always looks good, whatever hairstyle or facial hair he is wearing. He's an athlete and always jobful." I wonder if you meant joyful. "I think that is why he frequently throws on a cap. I wish everyone would just quit with the daily critiques." Those Swifties are tough, man. They only want the best for their girl. Wow, Taylor Swift, those Swifties, they're tough. I know you wanted to know that, but they're mad at Travis Kelce, so we'll see how that goes. And it brings up the question. It really does. Did anybody out there think that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift would still be a thing? It's been over 2 years, has it not? It's been a long time. Wow. Unbelievable. But Swifties are upset, so we'll see where that goes. Not sure. NBA Draft Lottery, that's the big topic for today. What are the Spurs going to do, and what would you like for them to do? Giannis has been answered. I see other people on our YouTube page say just be patient, that Giannis is too expensive. What do the Spurs say? Well, Mitch Johnson and Brian Wright spoke afterwards, and we've got some trade scenarios, some possibilities to give you, and we'll do that when we come back. We continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hump day on the Morning Huddle. The Dallas Cowboys, not to be outdone by the Spurs news. They've got some stuff to discuss. We'll be there tomorrow.
And the Spurs, will they or won't they? Is the freak moving to S.A.? So much to look at, but we got to start early. Get here at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice in an instant. A careless driver turns your life upside down. You're hurt, the bills pile up, and work stops. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, your consultation is free. No fees, no pressure, just real help. Justice starts with one call. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
If you're waiting for summer deals to refresh your home, don't wait any longer because Macy's Memorial Day presale is happening now. From backyard hosting to indoor updates, find the perfect pieces for every space, like amazing outdoor furniture sets, customer favorites like the Radley Sectional, and top mattress brands like Tempur-Pedic. Come in and get early access to incredible deals. We're talking 20 to 65% off before the official sale begins on Friday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Father's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for dads and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Would you say that's a guitar or is that a keyboard? Is that a guitar?
Oh, that's a guitar.
All right. I like playing the keyboard, right? Like my fake keyboard over here.
Looks like you're just typing on your computer.
Well, it kind of does, but I'm jamming a little bit. Much as an old dude can jam. Here I am, baby. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix has the day off. Some time off, actually, to celebrate his daughter who graduated from Arizona State today with her master's. I think it's her second master's. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Anyway, it is a master's, so that's good. So congratulations to the Minix family for that. But what a big day in San Antonio yesterday. The draft lottery, the Spurs almost pulled it off one more time. Almost got the number 1 pick again. They didn't do it. They got the number 2 pick. And the Dallas Mavericks instead walk away with the top pick. And there's been a lot of speculation since that happened, what they would do with that pick. They came out today and said they're not trading it. They're going to draft Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick, simply because it gives them hope again. It rebuilds that franchise after they were roundly criticized, and rightly so, for trading away Luka Doncic. Well, now they've got another franchise player, they feel like, that can be the face of that team, and so there you go. So they're not going to trade that away. They will draft him. That's what they're saying now. We still got about, 4 weeks or so, 5 weeks to go until the NBA draft. We'll see what happens between now and then. It also brought some controversy, the fact that the Dallas Mavericks won the lottery. They had the lowest odds, if you will, a 1.8% chance to win the number one draft pick. Even LeBron James last night, after the announcement was made that Dallas had won, tweeted out, no words, just a bunch of laughing emojis. And that's all he did. So you might imply that, LeBron was a little bit skeptical about what happened in the NBA draft, along with a lot of other people. I've heard it a lot today that there's conspiracy theories that the NBA wanted the Mavericks since Luka went to the Lakers, that they're doing the Mavericks a favor by giving them the number one draft pick. And I find it kind of funny because I think you would have to do a lot of things to make that happen. Well, as we're talking about that, Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated is trying to put an end to the theory.
It is impossible to rig the NBA draft lottery. The NBA goes to such great pains to ensure that there is no appearance of impropriety. The guy that is telling the ping pong ball selector when to draw from the bucket, he has his back turned to the whole proceeding. Like he is standing there with his back to the drawing and has a stopwatch in his hand. And every 10 seconds, he will raise his hand, and that's when a ball is drawn. It would take a Houdini-esque act to be able to rig the NBA draft lottery. There's nothing suspect about what the lottery is.
A Houdini-esque feat to rig the NBA draft lottery. Look, the NBA, if they got caught rigging anything, would be history. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you out there that are going to call BS, and you're going to say it doesn't matter what he says, or he's just taking up for the NBA and all of that kind of stuff. I get it. But look, I've been around the NBA a long time. They're not fixing anything. They're not going to. And I will say this, I find it funny, because wouldn't you think that a team like, the Washington Wizards or the Utah Jazz, wouldn't it behoove the NBA, if they were going to fix anything, to make sure that they got the number one pick, one of those teams, maybe 1 and 2 even at that? Because those franchises, especially that Wizards franchise, is just in disarray, man, completely in disarray. And they need to be rebuilt. And the only way they're going to be rebuilt, most likely, is through the draft. I mean, who wants to go to Utah? I mean, it's a beautiful country, but I don't know. I'm not sure I'd want to go to Utah if I was an NBA basketball player. I'd like to come to San Antonio, Memphis, OKC would even be a destination I think would be okay. And when we're talking about small markets, like, they're not rigging it. This is not rigged. The NBA didn't give the Mavericks any kind of favor for trading away Luka Doncic to the Lakers. I get where you're all coming from, but it didn't happen. Chris Mannix with a great explanation there of how this thing works, and that's the way that it works. So having said all of that, the Mavericks, we know who they're going to take. We know what they're going to do. At least today we know what they're going to do because they told us. They're going to keep Cooper Flagg. They're going to keep the number one pick, and they're going to draft him. Plenty of speculation. The only, mystery is the fact that we don't know what the Spurs are going to do. You got the number 2 overall pick in the draft. What do? There's some great players out there, at least with a lot of potential. That is for sure. A couple of them from Rutgers. And one who everybody said could, if Cooper Flagg wasn't around, that would probably be the number 1 pick in the draft. The kid's name is Dylan Harper. As point guard, shooting guard, he can play both, which is good. Spurs certainly need a shooter. So if you drafted Harper, I don't think anybody would be upset. But then it comes out that, Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to or is open to the idea of maybe moving on and playing in a different market. So anytime you say that, well, the Spurs are going to be a player because the Spurs, if they want Giannis, can outbid everybody else. They can. If he wants to come to San Antonio and the Spurs want him to come to San Antonio, they can make that happen. It's just a matter of what they want to give up for him and how they want to do it. They have more assets, more draft assets than anybody else. Is that a good idea? Is it a good idea? Would you like to see Giannis here? And I'm not talking about just because he's a superstar and a future Hall of Famer. Would he fit? And do you think it would put the Spurs over the top, having a guy like Giannis here? I think it would, and I think they could make it work. However, having said that, Giannis doesn't solve all the problems that the Spurs have. They've got other issues that they need to deal with. Number one, they need shooters. They need guys that can put the ball in the basket from distance. They don't have those guys. I always thought Devin Vassell would be that guy. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. It seems like more times than not he isn't, and he's just not consistent, especially with Wemby on the floor. For whatever reason, his game just doesn't seem as good when Wemby's on the floor as it does when he's not on the floor. So you need a guy that can be consistent, and I'm just not sure that Vassell is that guy, and not to mention the fact that if you are going to package anything up for anybody, you have to figure that Devin Vassell is going to be in that package some form or fashion. There's some interesting trade proposals out there. One comes from CBS, and I know you're not going to like this one, Spurs fans and Castle fans, because they're talking about Giannis to the Spurs. It's a 3-team trade, according to this particular mock. It starts with the Bucks. What do they get? Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, 2025 number 2 overall pick, the one they won last night, and whatever's the most favorable of Milwaukee and New Orleans' first-round pick in 2026. So the Pelicans are involved in this scenario. They would get the number 14 pick, which is the Spurs' other first-round pick, and Atlanta's unprotected 2027 first-round pick. And then, of course, the Spurs would get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is that too much to give up for Giannis? Is it too much? Tell me where this one is, Pledge. Pledge has put something up
it's
on the screen.
It's in your email.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So there's another scenario that we can go over, and it's a big ask of the San Antonio Spurs.
Different big ask, though.
A different big ask.
This is on the pick side of the big ask.
So this is interesting, too, because it's got some other teams involved. But I want to go down to the Spurs because that's who we're talking about. And, boy, you're not kidding. So the Spurs would get Giannis and Bobby Portis in this particular scenario. The Bucks, in return, would get back Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham. Dude, I would not do this. I wouldn't. This is way too much as far as I'm concerned. I mean, those 4 players, you want to do that, it's fine. But then they want the first-round pick this year, which would be number 2.
Mm-hmm.
They'd want, in this scenario, the 2026 pick swap.
Not the pick swap. A pick swap with San Antonio.
Right.
You would still own the rights to Atlanta's pick swap.
Gotcha. So 2027 first-round pick that belongs to Atlanta right now, which is unprotected, by the way. It looks like a pick swap or first-round pick, the Boston Celtics in
Top
2028.
2 protected.
Okay. And then a 2028 pick swap and a 29 pick swap. I love Giannis, but that's one hell of a haul for Milwaukee. And look, if you're Milwaukee and you're seeing this, you're thinking, hell yeah, I'm taking that in a heartbeat. It's not even the players. It's all the draft assets, and that's the problem. Look, I'm not going to do that. But they go on for some other teams that might be interested. One is the Cleveland Cavaliers. The other is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Can you imagine that scenario where the Oklahoma City Thunder would be a player in this? Thunder would get Giannis and A.J. Green, but they'd have to give up Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, Nikola Topic, and then 1, 2, 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. I mean, these guys are
that's the problem. You've got Oklahoma City, who has young assets and picks. You have the Houston Rockets, who have young assets and picks. All these teams, they're not going to do what the Mavericks did, which is call the Lakers in secret to work out a trade. They're going to try and maximize the value they can get for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And any team that is getting rid of a superstar has to do this to set themselves up for life after that.
Well, and you're right, but every scenario that's here is just outrageous, including the Rockets, which they go as a 3-team trade scenario. And the Rockets would have to give up Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Isaiah Stewart, along with Dylan Brooks. So, boy, it is. I know Giannis is a future Hall of Famer, but in the other scenario, I could see it. The one from CBS Sports. This one on the score is what I'm reading for. I just don't know if I make that pick. I think I go out and I get some other pieces just to fill in.
Oh, I mean, think about it, Joe. It took 5 or 6 first-round picks to get Rudy Gobert for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Well, true.
Malachi Branham took 5 first-round picks from the Knicks. That is to get Malik Bridges took 5 first-round picks from New York from Brooklyn. Like, good players cost good assets in an open market.
I get that, but you still have to have pieces around that guy. Giannis can't win by himself.
Well, you get Bobby Portis too.
Well, that's true. I don't know. That's a lot, and in that scenario, it is a lot. We're going to see a lot more of these mock
but you get
trade
to open up
scenarios.
Cap space by doing some of that.
Well, you do
by giving that much away.
Well, you're giving away Vassell and Keldon Johnson right there. What is that? $80 million?
That's 50.
$50 million.
30 and 20.
Okay. So there you go. You're giving away $50 million.
You've matched Giannis's contract, basically.
Right. And then what do you do? Because you still need help around him. I don't know, man. It's going to be fun to play this game for a while, and we'll have about 5 weeks to play this game before the draft because I'm not sure anything would be announced. It could be before that, but it's going to be interesting.
But there's 2 to 3 years of control of Giannis.
Well, true. He's got 2 years left, and then it's his option on the third.
It's not like you're trading for a guy that's got, a year or half a year, and you have to worry about working out an extension.
So the question would be, if the Spurs got Giannis and all you had was, say, 2 years and you win 1 championship in that 2 years, is it worth it? To me, yes, it is. To me, it is. Now, again, there's other aspects and stuff that needs to go in that because they need other pieces. But if you could tell me right now, you could guarantee me that we get Giannis and we win 1 championship over the next 2 years, I'm in.
Now, would you rather do that for that deal? And obviously, in that deal, you're also keeping Stephon Castle. Or would you rather spread those players and those picks over multiple teams to try and fill multiple needs on this roster? Going to get a Cam Johnson, going to get maybe an assign and trade a Naz Reid, like getting players that will cost money, but you will export multiple talent and picks to different locations to fill in the holes that are already on this roster.
Well, I mean, that sounds good, but then there's only limited opportunities to get a player of Giannis's caliber.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing. So you're not just talking about, some average guy over here, versus it's a talent. I mean, a tremendous talent.
I'm talking about upgrading the pieces and parts surrounding
I know
core
what
you think you have.
I know what you're talking about.
Ripping everything down to add this one player to pair next to your 1 or 2 other stars, which is what a lot of teams have done, is just try and get 3 big money stars together and hope they can put a bunch of G Leaguers around them and make it work.
Well, they wouldn't have G Leaguers. At least your starting 5 would be solid. Your starting 5 would be solid. Your problem you would have could potentially have is depth. I mean, if you're talking about a starting 5 with Giannis and Wemby and Fox and Castle and, I don't know, Harrison Barnes.
Didn't Castle go in the CBS one?
In the CBS one.
Okay.
The other one he did not. So, boy, I mean, you'd have to see all these scenarios and see how they work.
Poison.
It is. Absolutely that. What do you guys think? What would you be willing to give up for Giannis? Or would you rather go with Pledge's scenario where you just add pieces around what you already have? interesting question. Spurs fans, you're going to have to be thinking about this for a little while because something's going to happen. I got a gut feeling that that something big is going to take place this offseason. Mark's on the line here at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Mark, welcome to the Blitz. What's happening?
Well, I know you're not talking about the conspiracy anymore. You're talking about Spurs stuff. But,
that's all right.
You know, anybody that thinks the NBA is in some kind of conspiracy with the lottery are probably the same people that think the world was flat and we didn't land on the moon.
Well, it could be. We'll take a poll, Mark, but you're absolutely right. There's no conspiracy theory here. I appreciate the call, Mark. Thank you. Look, Chris Mannix spelled it out pretty good, I thought, and I thought he gave a great explanation. I just don't there's too much to lose. I mean, it's the same thing with these NFL scripts that everybody says is there. And I know sometimes it looks that way, but, I mean, come on. They've got way too much money to lose to be dealing with stuff like that, and they just can't do it. You get caught doing that, you're toast. That's just the way that it is. Hey, the NFL is leaking some of its schedule out. The Dallas Cowboys, they got off the hook. They're not going to have to go overseas. Charean Williams is going to join us coming up here at 5:15. We'll talk a little bit about that. In the meantime, we'll take more of your phone calls and more of your comments on the Spurs picking up the number 2 pick in the NBA draft coming up here in June. It's going to be fun. And what scenarios would you be willing to do? Do you want Giannis at all costs, or would you rather do something else? We'll talk about it when we return here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Writing 281 with The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions. And right now, you want to make sure your AC is tuned up and ready to go for the hot summer months. Hit the jackpot with comfort with their Lucky 7's AC tune-up for just $77. It's a 7-point AC inspection that includes a check of your capacitor, indoor coil, and outdoor coil inspection. They will change your air filter, air supply temperature check, clear of the condensate draining line, and refrigerant level inspection. Get that on the schedule and make sure you're ready to go before the hot summer months are here. Call Quartermoon at 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates. Divorce is tough, but it's up to you to take control and avoid your spouse from dictating the terms. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about securing your assets, safeguarding what you've worked hard for, and avoiding unnecessary losses. Visit TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with my good friends from Prize Picks. I'm just one of millions of members of Prize Picks that play daily fantasy sports every day, and things just keep getting better. How about 2,000x on your cash today? That's right, cash in on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your best chance to add your favorite players from the court on Prize Picks lineup. And whether it's points, rebounds, assists, and whatever else, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to $2,000. 1000x your cash today. Turn up your playoff hot takes into tickets on basketball and championship winnings every day. And there's stuff going on all week. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount several projections on the board. They take up to 15 to 25% off savings and fun. And then there's Big Flex Friday. Those picks that don't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds up to your limit as soon as the lineup settles. Hey, there's money back. That's why I love Prize Picks. 2,000 times your money and some free ones. Download Prize Picks. Use the code Alamo for 50 free bucks. That's Prize Picks. Go run your game.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Bad news for Celtics star Jason Tatum. He had surgery today to repair a torn Achilles that he suffered in last night's loss to the Knicks. He's out for a long time. By the way, the Knicks lead that best-of-7 series 3-1. Playoffs tonight. Cavs season may come to an end. They're trailing the Pacers 3-1. Game 5 from Cleveland at 6 o'clock. Donovan Mitchell, a game-time decision. That'll be followed by the Nuggets and the Thunder from OKC at 8:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, what a great Tuesday in San Antonio. Number 2 pick for our San Antonio Spurs. Almost had it. Man, I was at the Rue Pub last night. We did our show from there, but I'm there, and man, when they got down to the Final Four, they go to that commercial break. It's like, oh, man, everybody getting ratcheted up and thinking about what might be, what could be. Could it be a Cooper Flagg day in San Antonio? And unfortunately, it didn't come that way. But it's funny because as I'm going, I had my phone out. I'm videotaping, or that's the right word. I'm getting video of this on my phone. And so I'm watching, and I see the 4th pick go and the 3rd pick go, and everybody's standing up, and everybody's like getting all excited. And then all of a sudden that Spurs card comes up, and everybody went, But then a little bit of applause until the Mavericks pick came up, and then there was a big boo. Nobody liked that. But a great time last night. If you get a chance, hopefully the Spurs are not in the lottery, so this may not happen for a long time. But, boy, I tell you what, it's fun. Just to be out there with all Spurs fans. Everybody's a Spurs fan out there. Although there was one Dallas Maverick fan who got a little bit annoying. But that's all right. It's his right to do. it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun to be out there with those folks. Now, the Roo Pub didn't have to pick up any tabs. I guess for them that it worked out pretty well with the Spurs getting the second pick instead of but they would have been happy to do it. I mean, they did it the time Wemby was the number one pick, and they would have done it again this time. And that's the beauty of the Roo Pub. They're going to go outside the box with stuff like that, and it's fantastic. So if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't there, well, I'm sorry. Next time, maybe for the draft or something else, you can share in the fun. It's a great place to go. And it was a fun night, an exciting night, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's been the talk of the town all day today. I go to the gym this morning. That's what everybody's talking about. Everybody's got an opinion on Giannis. Everybody's got an opinion on what they should do or what they won't do. We did get clarification today on what the Mavericks are going to do. They came out pretty early and said they're keeping that pick, and they plan on drafting one Cooper Flagg. So we know what they're going to do. We don't know what the Spurs are going to do, or anybody else for that matter. So we'll see what happens. So we got about 5 weeks or so until the draft. It takes place in Brooklyn, June 25th and 26th. And while the 26th is okay, the 25th is the day everybody's going to look forward to see what happens and what goes on. We're giving away a pair of wristbands to the ACL Fest, but you have to qualify for it this week. We're going to give away those wristbands on Friday. So yesterday we qualified a person, and I think it was Frank Mateo yesterday was our qualifier. So Frank automatically, whether he wins the wristbands or not, gets a $50 gift card to the Mellow Mushroom right there at Stone Oak and 1604. Fantastic food there. It is outstanding. So Frank is in. He's qualified. We're going to qualify somebody else here during this hour. And I'm already getting pushy people on our YouTube page, Pledge. Alexander says, stop stalling. Let's go. So it's not time to call in just yet. It's not time to call in. But when you do, all you have to do is be the first caller. And when Pledge answers the phone, you just say, Mellow. That's all you have to do. So we're going to do it sometime during this hour. Not now, but at some point in time during this hour. So I will call it out. It will be obvious, and then you just have to dial really quickly in however you're going to do that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. 2 weekends out there at the ACL. If you don't win tickets or win your wristbands this Friday, you can go ahead and lock them in now if you want to at aclfest.com. But either way, somebody's going to walk away with a $50 gift card to the Mellow Mushroom today and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday for that matter. So if you are the winner, you are going to walk away with something. Where were you last night? What was your reaction? Did you think that lightning was going to strike a second time? Or a third time, actually? Actually, it would have been a fourth time. Think about that. Spurs won the lottery with David, Timmy, Wemby. Last night would have been the fourth time. That's incredible. But I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of sick of being in the lottery. As much fun as that was last night, I'm kind of sick of it, and I don't want to do it anymore. At least not for a while. I know that time will come again, but you got to remember, man, we went through a period of time where we weren't in the lottery. The Spurs had a 20-year playoff run, 20 straight years in the playoffs, which is incredible, and which brings up the issue that were the Spurs a dynasty in that point in time. I think they were. I think they're one of the best dynasties to ever go down, but a lot of people will disagree with that. That was a dynasty team. It was one hell of a team. And the Pop and RC put together all those years, just adding the pieces and doing what was necessary to add to the big three of Timmy, Manu, and Tony Parker. And they did that so well. So well. Guys like Bruce Bowen, Matt Bonner, Pau Gasol, Robert Horry, Mario Elie. I mean, just pieces like that. And where it kind of makes you think a little bit. That's how they assembled those playoff teams, those championship teams during that run. Would it be better to do it that way now? instead of going out and getting that big fish, and that one big fish might not be enough to get it done. It's an interesting discussion. Little pieces to fill in some holes, or a big piece, and then you see what else you can do. It's an interesting conversation, and of course I'm talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, because that's the rumor, and everybody is chasing this guy because he dangled that fish out there saying, I'd be willing to take a look at somewhere else. And the guy has been a loyal soul to the Milwaukee Bucks. He really has been. And a guy that causes no trouble, a guy that's quiet, but a guy that is good. Hall of Fame worthy good. What do you think, and where were you? Any kind of reaction to last night's draft lottery or the Giannis topic as well? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let's go to the phone lines now. Matthew's been hanging on a little while. Matthew, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks for the call. Full honesty, I'd be willing to give up just about anything, with the exception of Stephon Castle and Harrison Barnes. If we can keep them two in the starting lineup, Castle can help us in the long term should Giannis try to get out after 2 years. But I think anything besides those two would be fair game for me.
Now, just clarify yourself. You're not talking about Dylan Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, are you?
No, of course not. Yeah.
Right. So everybody
keep Fox, keep Wemby.
Gotcha. All right. I figured that went without saying, Matthew, but I just wanted you to clarify that before you got hammered by Spurs fans here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my friend. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate that. Opens up a phone line, 656-3776. Let's go back to it. David, what's on your mind, my friend?
Hey, Joe. Happy Taco Tuesday.
Well, thank you.
My feeling on this is that short of Castle and Harrison, you don't, and Wemby, of course, you trade your picks and you go for what you can, if not only just to try to win a championship, but also show Wemby that you're serious about at least trying to go and win a championship and build a team for his future. Because by the time Giannis's contract comes up, it's going to be time to re-sign Wemby. So you got to worry about him first. And then Giannis, and then everybody's talking about Giannis like, he's running up the court, pushing a walker to get up in, that he's too old and whatever. No, he's not. He's only 30 years old.
Well,
True, his contract is huge.
Yeah.
But, you got to pay for somebody. If you want to win, you got to pay for it.
All right. It sounds like most Spurs fans, thank you for the call, David. I appreciate it. It sounds like most Spurs fans are, and there's no poll obviously up here, but it sounds like most Spurs fans are wanting the Spurs to make a big splash like that, like a Giannis, and bring him into San Antonio. And again, keep in mind, and I'm just being real here, Giannis alone, partnered with what we have here, I'm not sure that's enough. I'm just not sure. I still think you need some pieces around that. And when I'm talking about pieces, I'm talking about shooters, scorers. You would solve your big man problem. I think defensively, the Spurs team would be unreal. You still need some people to put the ball in the basket from distance, and I don't think we have that just yet. So interesting topics, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, but we're going to switch gears here because our good friend Charean Williams from ProFootballTalk.com is going to join us coming up next. We haven't had a chance to talk to her about the George Pickens deal. I'm curious to hear what she has to say about that, and some of the schedule releases that have come out. And there's a whole lot we can get into with Charean as well. We're going to do that next. She's joining us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
Kurt Miller, the GM of the Dallas Wings, which I don't know if naming your franchise after a feminine product is the best way to do it. I just always assumed it was like they were hoping to get
I don't think that they named themselves after a panty liner, man. I don't think that.
I thought they were trying to get that MaxiPad sponsorship.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, this is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnick celebrating his daughter, Erica, who is graduating from Arizona State today with her master's degree. That is fantastic. So congratulations to the Minnick's family, which only means selfishly I get to talk to Charean Williams all by myself because she's joining us right now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Charean Williams with ProFootballTalk.com. Hi, Charean. How are you?
Hi. How are we doing today?
Well, we're doing good. It's a good day here in San Antonio. The Spurs get the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Almost got the number 1 pick again. We came close. So it was a fun night, fun day. We've been kind of celebrating and talking about different scenarios, but it's always time to talk a little football, especially Dallas Cowboys football. And we just missed on the George Pickens trade with you, so I'm curious what you think about the Cowboys adding George Pickens.
Well, I think they needed a player. I don't know that they needed the headache, and that's kind of where they are. I mean, there was all this talk about, we're bringing in captains and good guys, and that's great to say, but you can't have a locker room full of captains and good guys. We all know you need that little edge every once in a while, and George Pickens is certainly going to bring an edge. I mean, the fear is if you look at the receivers that Mike Tomlin has traded, and there are a bunch of them, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, there's 5 or 6 of them that they've traded, and they've done nothing when they've gone somewhere else. Even as talented as AB was, he did nothing when he left Pittsburgh. So that's the fear. And also, AB spent 10 seasons in Pittsburgh before they gave up on him. They had this guy for 3 years and threw up their hands and said, hey, despite all the stats that he's had, we're moving on. This is a guy who averaged 62 receptions, 1,006 yards, and 4 touchdowns in his 3 seasons. He is a good receiver. He had a ton of penalties, did a ton of things, late to meetings, not showing up to practice. I mean, all those sorts of things that go on. And they decided we've got to get rid of him. And the decision was made, and they did it. So buyer beware. There's a reason you give up on a young receiver like him who has put up really good numbers. If the Cowboys can control him, and they always think they can because we've seen it over and over and over again, they bring in these players who have had problem backgrounds elsewhere, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. They're probably only going to get 1 year out of him. They traded a 3rd-round pick for him. I seriously doubt with what they're paying CeeDee Lamb and what they're going to have to pay Mike Parsons and some of the other players who are coming up, Deron Bland. I seriously doubt he will re-sign with the Cowboys. They'll get a compensatory pick, a 3rd-rounder, a year later. So they'll kind of sort of get that 3rd-round pick back if George Pickens plays well next season. If he doesn't play well, then they can either re-sign him for less money or let him walk away. So, they're rolling the dice here, and a 3rd-round pick is not nothing. So they are giving up something for him for, maybe a 1-year rental, but they had to have that number 2 receivers we talked about last week.
Yeah, and look, there's no doubt that Pickens is a talented guy, but you're right, he can be a head case at some point in time, which I'm kind of confused about it, and I didn't really like it. Stephen Jones this week came out and said, well, we don't really have a wide receiver 1 and 2. It's whatever the case may be, and maybe that's the case on Sunday afternoon, Charean, but when it comes to contract time, that's really important.
Oh, absolutely, and they're paying CeeDee to be their number 1 receiver. George Pickens, they aren't paying to be that number 1 receiver, and they're not going to pay him to be a number 2 receiver. But, they wouldn't pay Amari Cooper to be a number 2 receiver. That's the last time the Cowboys had a duo at receiver was when Amari Cooper was here. He had 68 receptions, 865 yards, and 8 touchdowns in 2021, okay? And that was to Lamb's 79 receptions, 1,102 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I wrote all about this. Noah Brown was second among the team's wide receivers in catches in 2022. Brandon Cook did it in 2023, and Jalen Tolbert in 2024 with Cook hurt. And if you go back and look at their numbers, they were not good. They have not had a true 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, however you want to phrase it. They get sensitive to number 1, number 2, whatever. They haven't had two top flight wide receivers since Amari Cooper in 2021. So they needed this to be an efficient offense. You have to have at least two receivers, and they have that now.
Yeah, and it's good. And look, CeeDee Lamb's got to be the happiest guy on the planet now, I would think, because that should take a little bit of heat off of him. It just seemed to me that they were already kind of trying to coddle Pickens a little bit and make him happy. And I'm just like, dude, you're number 2. We got CD over here. Just deal with it and go play.
Yeah, and this is a guy who had $200,000 in fines last year between the league and the Steelers. And he was a problem. Now they've had T.O. in their locker room, and they've had other guys in their locker room who were problems elsewhere, and some of them have been problems in the Cowboys locker room, and some of them haven't. And they think that Pickens will fit in. We'll see. So far, he said all the right things. In his conference call with reporters, he said all the right things. In that he wouldn't look back on his time in Pittsburgh, didn't say anything bad about the Steelers, says I'm looking forward, and that's the right thing to say. So he'll get a second chance now in Dallas. And the big thing is he knows it's a contract year. He knows he needs to stay on straight and narrow now to get the contract that he wants. That's where the money's made in that second contract. And he's got an opportunity to do that. He's got an opportunity to hit free agency in March and become and that's really when I would be worried is if he goes and has a great year with the Cowboys this year, to sign him again and give him all that money. And then to me, you're really taking an even bigger gamble than what the Cowboys have taken this year. But with that contract out there, there's the carrot dangling. They may be on to something for 1 year, even if it's just for 1 year.
Well, I applaud the move. At least they're doing something, and they knew that that was a need, and they went out and did it. We're visiting with Charean Willians from ProFootballTalk.com. I think all in all, Charean, the offseason I think has been pretty decent. I know a lot of 1-year deals, a lot of guys that are maybe projects, because they didn't work out with the original team. But I think all in all, at least it seems like they gave it an effort this year.
Yeah, they made moves. They're definitely better. I mean, we were sitting here a year ago, and I told you, I said, this is not as good a team as the one that lost to Green Bay in the postseason, got blown out at home in the wild card round. And it wasn't. You could clearly see that in May, June, July, however far back you want to go. After free agency, after the draft, you could see that team in 2024 was not going to be as good as the 2023 team. I will tell you right now, sitting here, the 2025 Cowboys are way better than the 2024 Cowboys. They are. They've upgraded it. If you just look at receiver and offensive line, basically the entire offense is upgraded, except the tight end position. Everything's upgraded on offense. You've improved. Nobody wants to talk about how bad Zach Martin was over the last 2 years. He held out for that contract. He was not good the last 2 years. I love Zach Martin. He's a Hall of Famer. I probably will be the one presenting him. First ballot Hall of Famer in 5 years. He's absolutely that. He wasn't good the last 2 years. And who knows how a rookie's going to play over there. Booker may be good. Booker might not be good. I think he'll be better than the Zach Martin we saw last year, who, by the way, was injured part of the year, and we didn't even get to see him for part of what it was his last season. So they've upgraded, especially on offense. I think, I still have some questions about the corner position. I'm not sure the corner position is as good as it was last year. That would be maybe the one position where I go, I'm not sure that they're better at that position. Every other position, I think they've gotten better. Nobody wants to talk about the front seven, how bad the front seven was last year. They've really upgraded that front seven with what they did in free agency and what they did in the draft. The front seven is better than what it was a year ago. So I really like a bunch of things that they've done. I do think they're better. Over under on wins is 7.5. I would bet the over on that, and I feel really good about that. Now, I don't know if they're going to get to 10, but they're going to get to 8 or 9, maybe get to 10, and have a chance to go to the postseason as a wild card team.
I tell you what, it's going to be fun watching the NFC East this year. Obviously, Philadelphia's still the class. Can Washington repeat the performance they had last year? And then I even think the Giants will be a little bit better, Charean.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the problem the Cowboys have is, division champs, and they get leapfrogged by not one team but two teams. And both of those teams made the NFC Championship game. So now you're looking up at both Washington and Philadelphia going, okay, we got to get better than both of them. By the way, they both got better in the offseason. I like what both of those teams did in the offseason. They're both going to be really good this year. And then I'm with you. I think the Giants are going to be better. I think Jackson Dart may end up being the starting quarterback at some point this season, and we'll see. But I think they're better than what they were last year. How much better, we're going to find out. But I do think they're better than what they were last season.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't wait for football season, Charean. We're visiting with Charean Williams, ProFootballTalk.com. I'm looking at a tweet that you responded to. It looks like the Green Bay Packers have opened up an athletic club. And you said everyone copying Jerry Jones. No matter what you think of Jerry Jones as a GM, the guy is just fantastic, and he makes money.
Well, and that he does. And all these teams now are looking to duplicate what he's done with his training facility and with the fitness club he has, and coming out and watching practice, that exclusive thing that you pay per month, and all those things that he's done to raise money. Now, no one's yet copied the tours. I don't think we have anyone going back in the back there with the tours. But everything else, they've started to copy. The Texans now are talking about potentially moving out of Harris County to do the same thing Cowboys did and have a development area with restaurants and all of that. If you haven't been to the Star, it's amazing. It's worth the tour. It's worth going there, having lunch. You walk around. You spend a day there. The outdoor turf field and everything else there. It's really a cool experience for families just to go spend time, go spend a day. And it's a destination for fans to go. So no telling how much money Jerry's made off between the tours at the AT&T Stadium and the tours at the Star. But he's made an awful lot of money. Yeah, no doubt about it. And he makes it fun, too, Charean, for you and me and everybody else who covers the Dallas Cowboys. That's for sure. Charean Williams, ProFootballTalk.com. You can follow her at NFL Charean. Always a pleasure, Charean. I'm very selfish. I got you all myself today. Well, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, as always, Joe. Thank you, Charean. Thank you very much. Of course, Charean Williams and all our guests join us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. All right. Get your fingers ready. All you have to do is call 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Tell Pledge what that keyword is. You're going to get qualified for a couple of wristbands to ACL in Austin in October. We'll find out the winner when we return here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hump day on the Morning Huddle. The Dallas Cowboys, not to be outdone by the Spurs news. They've got some stuff to discuss. We'll be there tomorrow.
And the Spurs, will they or won't they? Is the freak moving to SA? So much to look at, but we got to start early. Get here at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Spring is here, and in South Texas, that means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you've been hit by a storm or think you have damage, now is the time to contact Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Don't put your trust in an out-of-town storm chaser. Stevens Roofing is a family-owned, locally based company who will be here for years to come. The team at Stevens Roofing and Solar will give you peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. Call 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is gearing up to send you to the Austin City Limits Music Festival. 9 stages, 2 weekends, and more big-time artists than at Texas tailgates. October 3rd through the 5th, and again October 10th through the 12th in the live music capital of the world. We're talking Sabrina Carpenter, Hosier, Doja Cat, Luke Combs, The Strokes, John Summit, Doechii, Fate, and whole mess of other stars lighting up Zilker Park. Listen to the Morning Huddle and the Blitz this week for your chance to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to Weekend 2. We're picking one winner on each show this Friday, and every qualifier scores a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Cold drinks, hot pizza, and ACL wristbands. That's a Texas-sized jackpot. Want to lock in your tickets now? Head to aclfest.com. All this week, it's ACL giveaways. Only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Thanks for spending your Tuesday with us. A wonderful Tuesday here in San Antonio. Because
wonderful Tuesday.
Spurs with the number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft. They won that. And let me tell you something, Spurs fans. While we're talking about Giannis all day, how would you like to have somebody from that Boston Celtics team? I don't know, maybe Derek White back. That could be a possibility. I know Tatum's a little, damaged goods at this point in time. If you haven't heard, he had surgery on his Achilles today because, well, he ruptured it last night. And they've got some other players there as well. How about a Porzingis, although he's been hurt quite a bit. It is a big man who
Drew Holiday?
Drew Holiday, perhaps. That's a rumor floating around out there that was Houston and San Antonio, if Boston decides to break up that group. And just a few minutes ago, an interesting trade idea was mentioned. Now, I'm not sure, Pledge, who this guy is.
Tony Jones from The Athletic. He covers the Nuggets and the Jazz as well as the NBA for The Athletic.
He tweets out that if he was Utah, he'd be on the phone to San Antonio trying to work a deal for that number 2 pick that would include Lauri Markkanen.
Markkanen and 21 for basically the rights to draft Dylan Harper and then salary filler. Pick your big contract, whether it's Harrison Barnes or Vassell or Keldon or.
Interesting. So the point here is the Spurs are going to have more opportunities to do something than just a Giannis, which is, I say, just a Giannis. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. But if you look, Lauri Markkanen was a guy that we were all clamoring for before last year. Right now, he just signed a new deal, but he is eligible to be traded.
And you want to talk about a deal with some security.
Yeah.
5-year extension, you got 4 years left on that bad boy.
And you're talking about a guy that would free up Wemby to do what he wants. You're talking about a rim protector and a guy that can score and
a floor spacer.
Exactly. So I'm telling you, what I'm excited about, and when you hear things like this, and we're going to hear this kind of stuff, I think, from now until June 25th. But think about it. There's going to be so many opportunities because Dallas has already said, number 1, we're going with Cooper Flagg. Spurs haven't said that they're going with anybody. So that number 2 pick could be up for grabs. If a team likes who is there, that could certainly be up for grabs, and it may not just be a Giannis. The Spurs may have option after option after option when it comes to this. But I found that interesting that we're hearing 2 different things as we move through the day today. And with Boston, and who knew that they were even thinking about breaking up that group, but I could see that.
They have so much money invested between the $70 million a year that Jason Tatum himself is getting, the max extension they signed Jaylen Brown to, and then you talk about those ancillary pieces in the starting 5 that they have, whether it's Porzingis at 30, Derek White at 28, or Drew Holiday at nearly 30. Like, they've got a lot of money invested in just that starting 5.
I tell you what, I would love to get Derek White back here. The way that guy has developed, he plays defense, he can shoot the 3, all of that. I'd love to have that guy back here.
And instead of, singularly focusing on a Giannis, what if it's multiple of these moves?
Yeah, multiple of these moves. Look, I think the Spurs are in a great place, and they will have an opportunity to do a lot of good things as we move through and get ready for the draft. I just think that the options are going to be endless. And so this is going to be exciting.
And I said this last night when they got the number 2 pick, and I started just thinking about the different things they could potentially – the options are actually limitless.
Yeah.
Like, we're thinking small when we think only about Giannis or only – like, you can use these picks – players' combinations to make a multitude of moves across the NBA.
Yep, no doubt. And look, they're gonna be presented with all of this stuff. I'm sure the phone's been ringing today at Spursville, just gauging and having conversations, and who knows. And so this is going to be exciting. And I think from now until the draft begins, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to hear what happens tomorrow, because we'll hear more tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and so on and so forth as we go. These rumors will come out, and some of these reporters will come out with trade scenarios like this. There'll be more mock drafts like this. There will be a lot of things that we'll be able to look at and talk about, and obviously if we're doing that, the Spurs are doing it too. Because, I just have a lot of faith in that front office after they went out and closed the De'Aaron Fox deal. That showed me that they're ready to get this train moving. And I can't wait to see what's next and what happens. So we'll keep you posted, obviously, on that. But get excited, Spurs fans. You really should. I think for first time in a long time, when you look at just building a team. I mean, Wemby was exciting. Don't get me wrong. That was an exciting thing. But just when you're talking about being able to assemble a team that you can put out there on day one and know that they've got a shot, to be a contender and take a long playoff run, man, that excites me. And I think that's what we're going to see when the season begins coming up here in the not-too-distant future. So it's fantastic. I see Wesley Perkins saying Markkanen is a mid-player. Giannis is a title town for San Antonio if he's here. And I like what you do. I mean, I love the Fox, Wemby, Castle, and Giannis not losing, but you still need – those guys can't play 48. So you got to have guys to come in and fill, and that could be the problem, Wesley. You got to have guys to fill in. I'm a big Giannis fan, and I'd love to see him here. If they can make that thing work and be able to fill around him, that's great. But if the Spurs have to go out and fill in with some what you call mid-level players and build around Wemby and Castle and Fox, then it's not a bad idea either. So whatever the front office is thinking about, I think they're going to have a lot of options. Is what I'm excited about. They're going to have a lot of options. They're going to have a lot of things that they can do, and that's exciting. And you should be excited if you're a Spurs fan. I mean, for the first time in a long time, and again, we've had spurts with Wemby. Last night was fun, but I don't want to see the lottery for a while. I'd kind of like to be out of that thing for a little while and miss out on that excitement of draft lottery night. I want to be in the playoffs. I want to be talking about the Spurs tonight playing the Denver Nuggets or the Oklahoma City Thunder or whomever. That's what I want to be talking about today, and not the draft lottery. But so it's an exciting day. It's something to look forward to. There's no question about that. It's something to look forward to, and we're going to keep you posted, and we'll continue this conversation for sure. And I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. It's an exciting time. Tomorrow we've got the NFL schedule, the rest of it coming out, but there's going to be some leaks there. I'm looking forward to that too, because there's a lot of games on the Cowboys schedule for sure, the Texans schedule also that I want to see when they're going to be. And I think some of that's going to make a difference in weather conditions perhaps, just the time of year, the Las Vegas trip, obviously I'm eyeing for sure. But fortunately for the Cowboys, Green Bay travels to Dallas. They don't have to play no matter when that game is. It will be indoors, and they'll be okay. And Kansas City comes to Dallas this year. Well, that's exciting, too. Think about that. Well, the Cowboys have a tough schedule. Man, there's some exciting games that are going to be taking place at Jerry World. And so that's fun. Green Bay, Kansas City, Detroit. I mean, my goodness, some good games coming to Jerry World this year. So an exciting football season. But we got a lot to be excited about. Obviously, a lot to be excited about.
I just love how Spurs fans have changed the narrative. You remember back when it was built, not bought?
Yep, I do.
Now they want to buy everything.
Well, look, and I get it, because everybody's tired of this lottery stuff and losing and not being a playoff contender. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're a fan of a team, you want to see them succeed.
Sure.
And it's been a long time since the Spurs. What was it, 2017?
Yeah,
the last playoff team?
7 years.
So that's way too long for me. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's way too long for me, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see this team succeed and ready to get. I want to see the flags flying on the cars, man.
Sure, but I started looking at the way the NBA has gone recently, and the big threes have been failing. The people trying to just get a collection of superstars has failed, while teams like Houston, Orlando, Detroit, Oklahoma City, Cleveland to an extent, Boston, they've all built their teams through the draft and then added supplementally around it. It haven't been massive moves, but it's been, bigger moves. Drew Holiday is a big player. He's not a marquee player, but he's a big player. And those have been the teams that have been having a lot of success lately in the NBA.
Well, I mean, just the De'Aaron Fox move. I mean, think about that. Yeah, he's a big star. He's a great player. But he's not in the Giannis category, right? So, I mean, and guys like that can do a lot of good and make their own name. And if Stephon Castle continues to develop like everybody thinks he does, Wemby's going to get better, believe it or not, the more he plays in the NBA. So this team's got a bright future. It's got a bright future. But right now, that is up to the Spurs front office. And they've got to get this done and make the best move that they feel is right. We trust that they're going to make those moves. I think they will. I don't think they go out and get De'Aaron Fox if they're not going to build a team to go along with it. He's not the last piece. He's the first piece. And so I just think that we've just begun and we've just started, and the Spurs now have some draft assets they can use. The number 2 pick in this year's draft, which is supposed to be the magical year of 2025. And so there's a lot of good players there. So I think they're going to get a lot of phone calls and a lot of interest.
And think about it. You talk about wanting Derek White back. You can go get a Derek White, add him to where he's part of that second unit, maybe fills that Manu 6-man role.
Absolutely.
Where he's in the games late when it matters anyway. Yep. You can also afford to go get a Lauri Markkanen and maybe a Cam Johnson. And then all of a sudden you start to rework the pieces around Wemby and Fox and Castle with things that Cam Johnson shooter, Derek White shooter, Lauri Markkanen shooter. And you've changed the dynamic that surrounds what we believe is the core of this team at this point in time. And, perhaps you have to say goodbye to Devin Vassell to do something like that, and draft picks, and potentially Jeremy Sohan. Like, these are pieces that you have to exit to bring these other pieces in, along with draft capital. But you've completely revamped the way this team looks moving forward.
Look, I'm okay with that. Whatever they have to do to improve this team, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. And you build around the core, and you go from there. So, the doc. We're going to talk to the docs from TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine coming up here in just a moment. I'm interested in talking to them about this Jason Tatum injury. Not only that, it looked really bad. Looked really bad last night, and obviously it was bad enough. They said that it had ruptured, and so they had to get him into surgery almost immediately. So they did that today. If you haven't heard, Jason Tatum ruptured Achilles. They sent him into surgery today. He's already had that done, but obviously that's going to be something to keep an eye on, no doubt about it. Let's talk to the docs. In fact, we're going to talk to Dr. Jeffrey Schroff from TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. He joins us courtesy of the Buyers Barricades guest line. Doc, how are you? How's your Tuesday?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing okay. It's a pretty happy day as far as we go, Spurs fans wise, with that number 2 pick in the draft last night. So we've been celebrating that. Somebody who's not celebrating, though, is the Celtics and Jason Tatum. I don't know if you saw that video of that or saw it live of him rupturing his Achilles. And they said today they thought it was bad enough where they wanted to get him into surgery immediately. Why would they do that?
I did see the video and multiple kind of slow motion ones, which it's always tough to watch. But yeah, it definitely looked like pretty classic for a complete tear of the Achilles. The reason to do it quickly, mostly, regardless of when you get him into surgery, he's going to be in for a long recovery with that type of injury, given the sport he plays. But doing it immediately just allows that healing process to begin right away. So they probably just didn't want to waste any time and just get to it so that he can get better that much quicker. But obviously tough injury for him and tough for the team also.
No doubt about it. Dr. Jeffrey Schroff joining us here on the Blitz. And when I look at the video, Doc, it's like these Achilles injuries always seem to happen in the most simple way, it seems like. It didn't seem like he did anything that would cause that, but, is that how it normally happens? You don't see it coming. It just seems so simple, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. For the most part, there's not typically any kind of preceding pain, and it can be something fairly innocuous that causes it. Typically, there is some underlying what we call tendinopathy, which means kind of degeneration or abnormality of the tendon itself. And for a guy like Tatum, it just comes down to, what he does on a day-to-day basis, the amount of time he trains and things like that. The people that are most at risk, or the people that I see most often in my clinic, are typically the 30 to 40-year-old guys who like to play basketball or other sports kind of every now and then. So they don't play often, but they go out on a weekend or something, and then they tend to hurt themselves. So, he's obviously an elite athlete who's playing all the time, but that probably speaks to some level of degeneration of that tendon going on even before this happened, for it to, just more or less happen from pushing off like that.
Dr. Jeffrey Schroff joining us here on the Blitz. And Dr. Schroff, I'll ask you about Steph Curry. Hamstring injury. Mm-hmm. He's had to miss, they said, at least a week. But when you get a hamstring injury, especially with what he does, do you have to be concerned about re-injuring that if you go back too quickly?
Yeah, so it's for athletes, it's kind of a frustrating thing. Like it's a low grade injury. The MRI showed it was grade 1, which is good, but it's right in the middle of the finals. He wants to play, but if you jump back too quickly, like you said, you can just kind of re-aggravate it, and then you're just extending that time that you need to be off. So I know that he's kind of touch and go right now. We don't really know if he's going to get back or not, but it can be very frustrating because it's not something obvious like an Achilles tear, but it's just something where you go to run and you just don't have that power and you get pain and you can't perform the way you want to. So I think they're going to keep him out for a few games and try to get him back towards the end of the series, hopefully. But yeah, it's just one of those things that if you rush back, you can kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, and no disrespect to Steph Curry, but Father Time is undefeated. That's what they say. So maybe it's catching up to him. Dr. Jeffrey Schroff, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and all the knowledge you provide.
All right, absolutely. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. The Injury Update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, online at TSAOG.com. And, of course, Dr. Schroff and all of our guests appear via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. It's interesting that he said they got him in quickly, so it starts the healing process that much faster. So it's still, you're talking about a year, and if Jason Tatum comes back at all next year, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked, and that's unfortunate for that young man. No doubt about it. Pledge, you got a show tonight?
I do.
How about that? James Pledger, Extra Innings with Pledge, is coming up next. I appreciate y'all putting up with me today, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen rumor-wise, story-wise when it comes to the Spurs and what they're going to do, but we'll certainly be on top of it all. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great Tuesday night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to